Chapter 1759. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. The three of them walked towards the meeting place. When they were about to reach the camp, Sima Yue said to the two of them, "Please keep Murong Shi's matter as secret for me." She didn't know the identity of Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruabai before, so she didn't tell them so much. She didn't expect Gongzi Yuan to say it. Now many of those people were locals of Eternal Brilliant City, and maybe some of them were colluding with others. So the less people know about this, the better. Okay. Gongzi Yuan's face was a little red, and he was annoyed with his previous behavior. Xiao Ruabai also nodded. It was not a big deal for her. Chao Chungan and the others had already arrived at the meeting place. They had already set up their tents, and a group of people were barbecuing meat around the fire. Chao Chungan saw Gongzi Yuan and the other two, waved his hand and said, "You came really late. Did you not get anything?" "Okay, stop talking." Mu Kai-en poked him, afraid that Gongzi Yuan would be sad. "Hee, little un, we don't know who will win yet." Gongzi Yuan walked over with a smile, grabbed the barbecue in Chao Chungan's hand, and took a bite himself. "Really? Then let's compete?" "Let's compete." Sima Yue and Xiao Ruabai did not go with Gongzi Yuan. They were not interested in the result. Mu Kai-en gave the barbecue in his hand to her and Xiao Ruabai. Sima Yue was startled. Mu Kai-en was not friendly to her before. She didn't expect him to barbecue meat for her at this time. "Thank you." She took the barbecue. She didn't eat anything today, so she did feel a little hungry. But the taste of this barbecue was really not flattering. Xiao Ruabai seemed to be used to it. She took the barbecue and ate it in big bites. Seeing her put it down after taking a bite, Xiao Ruabai turned to look at her and asked, "What's wrong?" Sima Yue touched her stomach and looked at the barbecue in her hand. Seeing that there was still unprocessed underworld beast meat on the side, she decided not to let her stomach suffer. She put down the barbecue in her hand, got up and came to the underworld beast. "Can you give this to me?" "Sure." Mu Kai nodded. Sima Yue cut off a piece of meat and found a stream at the foot of the mountain to wash it. Then, she took out the metal skewers, knives, and other tools on the table and sliced the meat into thin slices. Then she took out all kinds of seasonings to marinate them and skewered them with metal skewers. Then, she took out her barbecue grill and heated the charcoal. When the temperature was about right, she took the meat to grill. Smelling the familiar scent, she rejoiced in her heart. Fortunately, she didn't put this thing in the treasure pavilion and could still use it. Otherwise, she would be mistreating her stomach. At first, the surrounding people were still talking and laughing, but suddenly, there was silence. She raised her head and saw that everyone was staring at her with a horrified expression. "What is it?" "Murong Shi, when did you learn how to roast meat?" Chao Chungan smelled the aroma of the barbecued meat and felt that he was about to drool. He ran over and looked at the barbecued meat with shining eyes. When will you recover? It smells so good." Xiao Ruabai also came to her side and asked. "In a while." Sima Yue took out cumin and brushed it on the meat with a special brush. The aroma was even more tempting. I want to eat the first batch." Gongzi Yuan requested. Sima Yue roasted the first batch and then put it on the plate. She left a few skewers for herself and gave the rest to them. Then she ate while roasting the next batch. The barbecued meat smelled so good, so the taste naturally wouldn't be bad. So, Gongzi Yuan, Xiao Ruabai, Chao Chungan and Mu Kai-en divided the plate. The others didn't even get a piece of meat. They could only look at the barbecued meat in Sima Yue's hands. It was a pity that Sima Yue was someone who bore grudges. She remembered clearly how these people had treated her before. So, they naturally didn't have a share of the barbecued meat. They could only blame themselves for not having Chao Chungan's identity and his relationship with Gongzi Yuan. Mu Kai-en took a bite and knew why Sima Yue couldn't eat what he gave her. It was a world of difference. But they were even more puzzled. When did her young miss become so good at barbecuing? Sima Yue didn't plan to cook the barbecued meat after she finished cooking. Gongzi Yuan and the others ate a lot, but they still didn't have enough. As for the others, only in the last batch, each person got a skewer and tasted it. They just realized that they ate the world's most delicious food, but it was gone in the blink of an eye. Their hearts itched. Sima saw that they were all looking at her. She ate the last bit and then began to clean up the things. Now that there was no little spirit, these things had to be cleaned before they were taken in. She was now the young miss of the city lord mansion. She had no obligation to make food for them. They also understood this truth, so they could only look at her. When she came back from the stream, the group of people still had the same expression. She ignored them and took out the tent to set up. Let me help you. After the barbecued meat, Chao Chengan directly changed the way he addressed her. Gong Ziyuan walked over and glanced at him contemptuously. Good little one, now you know how to curry favor with she. Let me tell you, there is no way. Go away, I really want to help her. Can you? Why can't I? Look at your big and burly appearance. Sima Yue picked up the tent and set it up by herself while the two were bickering. Let me help you. Xiao Ruobai said. Okay. After she set up the tent, she said thank you to Xiao Ruobai, then got into the tent and didn't come out. After cultivating for a night, they continued on their journey the next day. Needless to say, Xiao Ruobai naturally had to go with them. But before they left, Mu Kaiyan ran over to ask for help and left Chao Chengan alone, saying that they had fewer people. TSK, you just want to eat Shi-Er's delicacies, right? Gong Ziyuan mercilessly exposed him. Isn't that a convenient thing? Mu Kaiyan didn't deny it. Gong Ziyuan looked at Sima Yue and asked for her opinion. Sima Yue shrugged and didn't care about it. Chao Chengan saw them leave like this and was envious. But he was the one who didn't have the right to go, otherwise, the competition couldn't be carried out. Fortunately, everyone would meet up at night, so he could still have some hope. Gong Ziyuan had Sima Yue to help him attract underworld beasts, and Chao Chengan had many people. After a few days, the results of the two were similar, and they also tried their best to find the herbs and underworld beasts that they could find. Xiao Ruobai and the others also intentionally or unintentionally walked towards the central region. On this day, they came to a valley. Sima Yue suddenly stopped and looked around with some doubts. What's wrong? Gong Ziyuan was beside her and immediately noticed her strangeness. Chapter 1760. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web no pop-up window. Free to read. Sima Yue looked around and said, Why do I feel that this place is so familiar? Xiao Ruobai and Mu Kaiyan also stopped and looked back at her. Familiar? Have you been here before? Gong Ziyuan asked. Sima Yue shook her head. I don't know. I have no memory. I just feel that this place is familiar after all. Is this the place where you were chased? Xiao Ruobai asked. There are no traces of fighting here. It shouldn't be the place where I was chased. Mu Kaiyan denied this statement. Did you do something here? Sima Yue still shook her head. Her memory before she woke up in the city lord's mansion was very vague. She didn't know what was special about this place. She looked around. The terrain here was ordinary and the soul power was ordinary. There shouldn't be anything worth her attention. She continued to walk forward and turned a corner. When she saw the scenery in front of her, she was stunned. What a large field of mandala flowers! Xiao Ruobai exclaimed in surprise. Sima Yue saw the mandala flowers all over the valley and finally knew why she felt that this place was familiar. In her vague memory, the first thing she saw when she opened her eyes was this large field of mandala flowers. At that time, she was in a daze and didn't think much about it. She got up and left. Now that she thought about it, the old ancestor wouldn't have sent her here casually. So, there should be something here. She came to the middle of the sea of flowers and came to the place where she woke up according to her memory. There were traces of her lying here. Do you remember anything? No. I just feel that there should be something here. It's like I've been here before in a dream. Sima Yue reached out and rummaged on the ground for a while, but she didn't find anything. Suddenly, her hand touched the ground. She felt that it was very warm here. It was different from the ordinary ground. She pulled out all the mandala flowers above. The other 3 people saw this and came over. Is there anything special about this ground? The temperature here is different. Sima Yue said. Gongzi Yuan squatted down and touched it. There's nothing different. It's just a little warmer. Can't you feel it? Sima Yue touched the ground. There's a gentle force here. There's something down here. It can't be? We didn't feel anything. Mu Kaiyan didn't believe it. Then, when I dig up treasures later, you can't snatch them from me. Sima Yue said as she took out a shovel and began to dig the ground that she had circled out. She dug until she was as tall as a person, but there was nothing. Let me help you dig. Gongzi Yuan saw that her clothes were stained with mud and said from above the pit. No need. You're not sensitive to the temperature. You might hurt that thing. Sima Yue refused. When she dug to the end, she would feel the temperature of the soil every time she dug a layer. After digging another half a meter, she finally found something that looked like a rock at the bottom. She gave up on the shovel and used her hands to dig. Soon, she dug out a piece of milky white jade. What is this? The three people above had been staring at her, so when the jade was exposed, they immediately noticed it. I don't know. Sima Yue reached out and touched it. The jade was very warm and comfortable to the touch. She carefully threw away the surrounding soil and found that the jade was nearly as long as a person. It was 50 or 60 centimeters wide and more than 30 centimeters thick. It was comparable to the single beds she had seen in her previous life. She removed all the surrounding soil, and then Gongzi Yuan jumped down and moved the jade out with her. What jade is this? Little Yuan, do you know it? Mu Kaiyan asked. According to my family's research on jade, this jade, I have never seen it before. Gongzi Yuan circled the jade, but still didn't see anything special. I also think this jade is very ordinary. It doesn't seem to contain any ghost energy. Xiao Ruobai said. But if it's not a treasure, why would she dig it out? Mu Kaiyan felt that Sima Yue should be a person who didn't get up early without benefits. If this thing was useless, she wouldn't dig it out. This is a soul stone. Sima Yue climbed up from the pit and said, the soul stone has no effect on the general ghost clan, but it has a great effect on the soul. It's a treasure for soul cultivators. And this soul stone is so big, it's rare in the world. How do you know this? Mu Kaiyan asked. Didn't I hurt my soul last time? I found some books on this during this period of time. Sima Yue stroked the jade and felt a burst of comfort in her body. Since your soul is hurt, then you can put this thing away. Gongzi Yuan said, anyway, this thing is useless to us. Sima Yue looked at Xiao Ruobai and Mu Kaiyan. Little Yuan is right, this thing is not of much use to us. Besides, you found it, so it's yours. Mu Kaiyan said, well, I need this, so I won't be polite with you. She suppressed the joy in her heart and put the entire soul stone away. In fact, she didn't lie to them. This soul stone was not of much use to ghost cultivators, but for soul cultivators, this small piece would cause a lot of people to fight over it. Not to mention this one as big as a single bed. If soul cultivators found it, it would definitely be the treasure of their sect. In the future, if she sat on it to cultivate, it would get twice the result with half the effort. If she didn't cultivate, even if she just slept on it, it would be comparable to ordinary cultivation. So, for her, this was simply a treasure of treasures. She knew it, the old ancestor sent her here, it was definitely not random. It was just that she was too muddle-headed at the time and didn't find this treasure. Seeing her beaming with joy, Gongzi Yuan was dazed. Xiao Ruobai felt embarrassed and pulled him back, only then did he come back to his senses. Congratulations on getting such a treasure. You say, such a good thing, shouldn't we celebrate? Mu Kaiyan also found Gongzi Yuan's embarrassing appearance, but his focus was on other things. Sima Yue looked at the three of them more affectionately than before. In fact, she could have waited until she was alone before coming back to find the treasure. The reason why she chose to dig now was to test the three of them. After getting along with them for a few days, she felt that the three of them were not bad, but there was no conflict of interest, so she couldn't completely see their character. Now it seemed that she could at least try to deepen their relationship. Anyway, it's almost noon now, I'll make something delicious for you. She smiled. Okay. Is it still barbecue? Sima Yue glanced at the impatient Mu Kaiyan and said, "Who wants to eat barbecue at noon?" In the end, she made a few dishes for everyone. Because the ingredients were not from the Spirit Pagoda, but from the mountains, the taste was not very good. But for Mu Kaiyan and the others, it was already delicious. The three of them buried their heads in eating, while Sima Yue looked behind Mu Kaiyan, who was sitting opposite her, and frowned. Chapter 1761. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Her gaze was so intense that the three people who were engrossed in eating noticed it. What's wrong? Mu Kaiyan thought she was looking at him and asked. We are in trouble. Sima Yue said. Trouble? Are the people around you powerful? Sima Yue asked. How much trouble? How powerful? Divine beast. Sima Yue said, the underworld beast that came is a divine beast. Sima Yue sighed in her heart. With her strength before, there was no need to fear a little divine beast. Now when encountering a divine beast, she could only rely on external forces. Mi-air could be dealt with, but she was used to keeping some trump cards for herself. Exposing it too early was putting her life on the chopping board. It was wise to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. Therefore, if it was not the last moment and her life was in danger, she could not expose Mi-air. Divine beast? How can there be a divine beast here? There are only a few divine beasts in atavistic Orchid Mountain, and they all live in the inner region. This is the inner region. How can those divine beasts come here? Mu Kaiyan smiled and turned his head. He wanted to say that it was nothing at all. As a result, he was stunned at a glance. Damn, it's really a divine beast. Although Xiao Ruabai and the others were surprised, they did not panic. Well, should we run away? Sima Yue asked. No need. It's just a divine beast. Gongzi Yuan said lightly. Each of us has an underworld royal master with us. It's not impossible to deal with a divine beast. Mu Kaiyan said. Isn't it agreed that we can't rely on external forces? We are talking about the content of the competition. You can only rely on yourself. In this case, divine beasts will not be part of the competition. Gongzi Yuan explained. Although we like to play, we still know the importance of our own lives. Sima Yue nodded. Since they said so, she was not worried. The three of them didn't notice that Sima Yue, who didn't even have any spiritual energy, was able to sense the danger before them. In front of delicious food, his IQ had dropped. Sima Yue was a little nervous when the mythical beast approached her. However, an old man appeared before the mythical beast. Whose is this? It's mine. Gongzi Yuan said, Come, let's continue eating. Sima Yue looked at the battle over there. The young master's guards were indeed not bad. They were not at a disadvantage in the battle with the divine beast. She then prepared to continue eating. However, she only took a few bites before she stopped. And, this time, it came especially fast. Before anyone could react, a big black bird flew over from afar. Just as it was about to reach them, another middle-aged man appeared out of nowhere and intercepted it. Why are there two of them? Before Xiao Ruabai finished speaking, Sima Yue said in another direction, There are more over there. Before the mythical beast could get close, it was stopped by the guards who were waiting there. The mythical beast in the east is very powerful. My guards can't resist it. Mu Kaiyan said. Then should we go and help? Gongzi Yuan and the others were not in the mood to eat at the moment. How could so many mythical beasts suddenly appear? Puff, the strength of Mu Kaiyan's guards was a small level lower than the mythical beast. They were flung away by the mythical beast's wings. Elder Guang. Mu Kaiyan saw his guards injured and hurried over, but he was almost hurt by the big black bird. Fortunately, at the last moment, Sima Yue's guards appeared and fought with the big black bird. Elder Guang, how are you? Mu Kaiyan helped Elder Guang up and gave him a pill. Young master, this mythical beast is too powerful. We are not their opponents at all. Let's leave quickly. Elder Guang grabbed Mu Kaiyan's hand and said. Mu Kaiyan looked back at the battle over there. Except for the Murong family, who was evenly matched, The other two were at a disadvantage and felt that they could not hold on for long. Little Yuan, Ruabai, let's run away quickly. He shouted to the three. Xiao Ruabai and the others also understood the current situation. It was best to escape. But Xiao Ruabai didn't want to leave her guards behind. Ruabai, if we don't leave now, we will also be finished. Mu Kai-en shouted. Young miss, go quickly. If you leave, we can escape easily. The Xiao family's guards shouted. Your guards are right. With us here, they can't leave even if they have the chance. Gongzi Yuan said, let's go. So, the 5 people fled in the direction they came from. Sima Yue didn't have spiritual power, so she called out Xiao He and climbed on his back, telling him to escape. Xiao He saw the 3 mythical beasts and opened his mouth to whimper twice. Sima Yue thought he wanted to play, patted his back and said, don't play, let's go. Xiao He reluctantly ran away. Originally, they thought that after they left, the guards would have to fight fiercely before leaving. Unexpectedly, the mythical beasts no longer wanted to fight and wanted to find an opportunity to chase after them. The goal of these mythical beasts was the young master and young miss. They couldn't let them chase after them. So, the scene became that there were people escaping in front, and there were mythical beasts chasing after them. The guards who originally wanted to escape tried to block their way. Sima Yue and the others ran for a long time, but the mythical beasts didn't give up. They changed their route many times, but they were still chased by the mythical beasts. Why do I feel that their goal seems to be young Miss Shi? After all, Elder Guang had a lot of experience. After a few times, he found that the mythical beast's eyes were locked on Sima Yue. When he said this, everyone stopped and looked at Sima Yue together. Elder Guang, are you mistaken? Gongzi Yuan said in a deep voice. Didn't he say that all of this was caused by Sima Yue? Elder Guang, little Yuan is right. Are you mistaken? Mu Kai-en asked. Young master, I won't be mistaken. Elder Guang said, I have observed several times, the mythical beast's eyes are locked on young Miss Shi. If we stay together, everyone will be dragged down. It's better for us to separate. The atmosphere was awkward for a few seconds. In these few seconds, everyone's heart turned several times. Elder Guang is right. If we stay together, it's easy to be attacked by the mythical beasts. It's safer to separate. Sima Yue said with a smile. No. Gongzi Yuan immediately objected. You don't have spiritual power. If you are caught, you will die. I can't leave you behind. That's right. Xiao Ruabai also echoed. If you come out with us, if something happens, we won't be able to explain it to your father. Elder Guang, since everyone is, young master. Elder Guang interrupted Mu King. Don't forget that you are responsible for the family. If something happens to you here, can you live up to the family's cultivation? Chapter 1762. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book web no pop-up window. Free to read. Elder Guang's words immediately blocked Mu Kai-en's words. Sima Yue smiled and said, It doesn't matter. It's better for everyone to go separately now. Then let's go separately. Elder Guang did not wait for Xiao Ruabai to speak and spoke first for Mu Kai-en. Miss Xiao, Gongzi, young master, do you want to go together? You go first. Xiao Ruabai said lightly. Then we'll take our leave first. Elder Guang finished speaking and continued to run forward with Mu Kai-en. Yue, the Mu family has always been like this. You don't have to take it to heart. Gongzi Yuan comforted. I didn't take it to heart. Sima Yue shrugged. I don't take ordinary people and things to heart. It's so tiring. Although she did think that she could try to get in touch with these people, she didn't really treat him as a friend, so there was nothing sad about being abandoned at this time. He chose a direction. There are divine beasts behind, so we can only choose one. She continued, You two go that way, I'll go this way. We'll go with you. Gongzi Yuan said. Sima Yue shook her head. As Elder Guang said, Mu Kai-en has the hope of the family, so do you too. Speaking of which, we have only known each other for a few days. You don't have to go with me. But you don't have spiritual power. If you are caught by the divine beasts, you will be in danger. Gong Ziyuan said. If you are with me, we will die together. We don't have time to talk about this. You go that way, I'll go this way. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she patted Xiao He and ran in the direction she said. If these divine beasts were really coming for her, then she would have to consider letting me air come out. If they followed her, it would be more inconvenient for her. However, before she ran a few hundred meters, there was movement behind her. She turned her head and saw that Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai had caught up. We'd better go with you. Xiao Ruobai said, I'm not sure if it's because of you. If so, we'll leave you behind when they catch up. Hurry up and run. As they spoke, the two of them had already passed by her and continued running forward. Sima Yue shook her head helplessly as she watched the two leave. However, the smile on her face showed that she was in a good mood. However, what they didn't notice was that the route they were running on wasn't the way out at all. Instead, they were running in the direction of the inner circle. The way out was getting further and further away from them. The three of them came to the edge of a cliff. Sima Yue looked at the cliff and smiled bitterly. I actually came here again. None of them had the ability to fly yet, so there was nothing they could do about the cliff. Have you been here before? This is the place where Murong Shi and I fell off the cliff. Sima Yue turned around and wanted to go back, but found that it was impossible. The three mythological beasts had blocked the middle of the road, and the guards were nowhere to be seen. It was unknown whether they were dead or not. It's over. Both of you are going to die with me. Sima Yue said. Although I thought about death, I didn't expect to die here so early. There was some regret in Xiao Ruobai's words, but there was no regret. She never regretted her decisions. The path she chose, she would finish it even if she had to kneel. The cliff behind, you were able to survive last time. This time, we should have no problem, right? Gong Ziyuan said. It's hard to say. Sima Yue didn't remember what it was like below, nor did she know how she survived. She had no impression at all. However, they definitely won't let us survive. The three of them looked at the three mythological beasts. Well, even if they didn't die after falling, they would chase them down and kill them. What should we do now? Xiao Ruobai asked. Sima Yue felt that these three mythological beasts were a bit strange. She stood in place and was not in a hurry to kill them. She stepped forward and asked, Are you here for me? Boss wants to see you. The big black bird said. You are not here to kill us? Sima Yue was startled. Could it be that they were wrong? I want to curse. What are you humans thinking? We are not here to kill you. Why are you running? Another mythological beast, the cheetah, had a bad temper and slammed the ground hard. Yue and the other two were embarrassed. It turned out that they really didn't intend to kill them. Then why were they running? Who is your boss? Who does he want to see? Xiao Ruobai asked. You. The cheetah pointed its claws at Sima Yue. Why does your boss want to see me? Sima Yue asked curiously. Boss wants to see you. How would we know why? Another mythological beast was a little impatient. She is just a little girl. She actually wants the three of us to invite her. Boss has his own arrangements. The big black bird reprimanded. Okay, little girl, please come with us. Okay. Sima Yue nodded and was about to walk over, but two people grabbed her arm. Yue, you can't go. Who knows what they are planning? Gong Ziyuan said worriedly. Yes, it's better to be careful. Xiao Ruobai said. Sima Yue looked at the two and smiled. Don't worry, nothing will happen. If there is danger, it won't wait until now. Besides, can the three of us beat the three of them? When she said this, both of them were stunned for a moment. Then they let go of her hand and said, We will accompany you. Sima Yue looked back at the three mythological beasts. Seeing that they did not object, she nodded and said, Okay. Many years later, when she stood at the top of the world, she asked them why they chose to be with her at that time. Gong Ziyuan said lightly, I brought you out. Naturally, I have to take you back. But his true thoughts were not just that. Xiao Ruobai shrugged and said, I guess I was crazy at that time. At that time, although she felt that Sima Yue was not bad, She was far from the point of sacrificing her life for her. Why did she choose to be with her at that time? She really felt that her brain was not normal. However, she was glad that she made this decision at that time. If she had even flinched a little at that time, the relationship between the two would not be so good. The three of them followed the three mythological beasts to the inner area and came to the highest mountain in the middle. The big black bird said to Sima Yue, "I will only take you up." After that, it grabbed her two shoulders and flew her to the top of the mountain, leaving Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Rua by at the foot of the mountain. Sima Yue felt so bad. She was taken by a little mythological beast to see their boss in this position. She had never experienced this before. Chapter 1763. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. After the big black bird brought her to the top of the mountain, it put her on the ground and said, "Come with me." Sima Yue carried Little Black and followed it to the edge of the cliff. As soon as they got closer, they saw a small gray bird resting on the crooked tree at the edge of the cliff. It seemed to be still sleeping, its little head nodding. The big black bird was used to this and said, "Boss, I've brought her." Little gray bird opened its eyes and looked at Sima Yue. She knew that it was a sacred beast. However, it was only a sacred beast that had just been promoted. She contacted Mi-Air. Although Mi-Air's strength was limited, it was more than enough to deal with a sacred beast and a sacred beast. "When will you find a mineral vein? I'll absorb the things inside." Mi-Air finally asked. Sima Yue agreed. "You're that person?" Little gray bird looked at Sima Yue. After waiting for so many years, it turned out to be like this. "Why are you looking for me?" Sima Yue asked, not ignoring the words, "After waiting for so many years. Has it been waiting for me?" Little gray bird suddenly opened its mouth. Sima Yue thought it was going to spit out a big move, but it held it for a long time before spitting out a black bead. "Phew, I'm finally comfortable." Little gray bird flapped its wings and felt its whole body relax. The little black bead flew to Sima Yue. Sima Yue looked at the bead that was still dripping with saliva and took out a handkerchief to wrap it up. As soon as she held it in her hand, she felt a gentle force enter her body, similar to the feeling of the soul jade. "What is this?" She put away the excitement in her heart and looked at Little Gray Bird. "I don't know what it is." The Little Gray Bird's answer was beyond her expectations. "When I was still a little bird, someone came to me with this bead and told me to keep it safe. If I met someone who could make this bead react, I should give it to her. I didn't expect to wait so long for you to come. I've turned from a little bird to an old bird. Who gave it to you?" Sima Yue asked. "I don't know." Little Gray Bird replied. "At that time, this bead was not quiet at all, and it attracted a lot of people. Fortunately, I was smart enough to swallow it, and those people did not find it. Otherwise, I might not have been able to keep it until you came. Now, I've finally completed my mission. Thank you." Although she didn't know who left it for her, Little Gray Bird had kept it for her for so many years, so it deserved her thanks. He didn't expect that there really was a legendary treasure here. Those people had been looking for it for so many years, but to no avail. Now, she had actually obtained it. "Don't thank me so quickly. That person said that you can give me what I want," Little Gray Bird said. Sima Yue put away the bead and asked, "What can I give you?" "I have nothing now, I'm just a poor person." Although she used to have a lot of treasures, they were all useful in the human world. And now they were all sealed. Except for the jade bed that Murong Hui gave her, she really had nothing. "I want to transform," Little Gray Bird said. "He said you can help me." Sima Yue's mouth twitched. This condition was really, "Do you know that you have to go through a thunder tribulation to transform?" She asked. "Of course I know. That's why I asked you for help," Little Gray Bird said. When it was still a little bird, it had always been eager to transform. After waiting for so many years, it finally cultivated its strength to become a sacred beast, and waited for the person who could help it. If the underworld beast wanted to transform, the thunder tribulation it experienced was even more terrifying. Because the thunder tribulation not only represented the punishment of the heavens, but also had a restraining effect on everything in the ghost realm. Even she, who used to treat lightning strikes as a common occurrence, did not dare to provoke the thunder tribulation now. Before she could finish her words, she was horrified. Little Gray Bird had already triggered the thunder tribulation. How impatient it was! She didn't know when Little Black Bird had left. Now only she and Little Gray Bird were left on the top of the mountain. As soon as the thunder tribulation started, it locked her in. She wanted to curse in her heart. With her current strength, she couldn't even withstand the smallest thunder tribulation, let alone the thunder tribulation of the level of the thunder tribulation. Now that the thunder tribulation had locked her in, she couldn't escape even if she wanted to. Was she going to die with this stupid bird today? Seeing the stupid bird jumping happily on the branch, she wanted to go up and tear it apart. But Little Gray Bird was in a good mood. After waiting for so many years, it finally waited for this day. After today, it would be able to transform. It was happy and looked at the tribulation clouds with a sense of familiarity. I say, stupid bird, I don't have any spiritual power at all. How can I help you pass the tribulation? What? Little Gray Bird was stunned and looked at her blankly. What did you say? Haven't you noticed that I don't have any strength at all? Sima Yue asked helplessly. I thought you used some secret method to hide. Little Gray Bird said, Isn't that so? Of course not. Then where did your strong aura come from? Little Gray Bird was completely stunned. Could it be that it was wrong? I can't explain it to you. Sima Yue looked up at the tribulation clouds. Once the thunder tribulation began, it would not dissipate unless the target died or the thunder tribulation ended. At the foot of the mountain, Xiao Ruabai and Gongzi Yuan were stunned when they saw the tribulation clouds. The ghost clan had a bone-deep fear of the tribulation clouds. Even the underworld Grand Masters and underworld Royal Masters would be scared when they saw this, not to mention the two of them. What's going on? Gongzi Yuan felt that all his strength had been drained. I don't know. Xiao Ruabai wanted to calm herself down, but her trembling body betrayed her true situation. At this time, the big black bird swooped down from the top of the mountain, grabbed them with one claw, and flew them out of the thunder tribulation range. Where's Yue? Gongzi Yuan asked anxiously when he saw the big black bird come down by itself and did not see Sima Yue. She's accompanying boss to cross the tribulation. The big black bird said. What? Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruabai shouted, How could this be? She will die. Gongzi Yuan said as he was about to run down to save Sima Yue, but the big black bird slapped him into the soil with its wings. Neither of you are allowed to go. The big black bird stared at the two with some killing intent in its eyes. If the power of the thunder tribulation increased because of their interference, the success rate would be even smaller. Xiao Ruabai saw Gongzi Yuan, who was half buried in the soil, and nodded stiffly. They couldn't escape the control of the divine beast and could only look at the thunder tribulation, silently praying for Sima Yue, hoping that she could survive. Although, in their hearts, they all knew that the possibility was almost zero. Chapter 1764. 1 Second to Remember, Love Divided by You? Reads Book Web, Quick Update, No Pop-Up Window, Free to Read. Sima Yue was also very anxious at this time. She couldn't take out the lightning-proof things in the Spirit Pagoda. She didn't have the strength, and the purple thunder was not here. What could she use to resist the power of the thunder punishment? The more she thought about it, the angrier she became, and she regretted it very much. If she knew this would happen, she wouldn't have come to see this stupid bird. The whole area of the thunder punishment was now filled with the elements of thunder and lightning. She, who didn't have the strength, now touched these, and her body was in pain from the electricity. No wonder the people of the Ghost Clan are so afraid of the thunder punishment. She frowned in pain. This kind of natural suppression was really uncomfortable. Suddenly, she felt that the thunder elements were drilling into her body. She felt as if her whole body was being torn apart, and her soul was about to fall apart. How can this be? She screamed in her heart. Why am I still so sensitive to thunder and lightning in the ghost realm? This was an advantage for her, but now she was a ghost, and this was double the pain for her. Was she going to die before the thunder punishment even started? She just came to the ghost realm not long ago. She hadn't started to cultivate, she hadn't found her mother, she hadn't had time to go back and see her old friends. Was she going to die like this? Her heart was in more pain than her body. Oh, a satisfied sigh sounded in her ear, and her desperate heart instantly saw the light. "Little Z, is that you?" she asked excitedly. There was no answer. However, the speed of the surrounding thunder elements entering her body was increasing rapidly. The severe pain made her suffer, and she didn't even have the strength to think. She only felt that her body was about to be torn apart. She estimated that she would really die here today. Just when she felt that her body had reached its limit, and she would die if she absorbed a little more, her body finally stopped. Then a gentle force spread from her abdomen, and her body that was on the verge of collapse solidified again, and the pain slowly dissipated. Meow, this baby finally woke up. You, did you miss this baby? The excited voice clearly came. Sima Yue was sure this time that she wasn't hallucinating. This guy really followed her soul to the ghost realm. Although the pain disappeared, she was still weak and didn't want to move. Miss you? Well, I miss it and hate it at the same time. She answered weakly. If it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have suffered like this. However, if he didn't have it, he probably wouldn't be able to withstand the lightning tribulation. She looked at the tribulation clouds in the sky. Why did it feel so familiar? Could it be that cloud spirit fellow? Before she could confirm it, a lightning whip fell from the sky and wrapped around her body, bringing her into the air. Looking at Cloud Spirit's familiar eyes, Sima Yue confirmed that it was really Cloud Spirit. How did you end up like this? Cloud Spirit looked at her with disdain. I didn't dare to bring you up here before I woke up the purple thunder. Otherwise, that whip would have destroyed your soul. Hee, it's a little tragic. Sima Yue could not deny that she was a little unlucky. Why did you come to the world of spirits and souls? This is my territory. Cloud Spirit said, how did you die? Who else can kill you? I couldn't control the power in my body and exploded. Cloud Spirit looked at her speechlessly. It's rare to die like you. Sigh, a real man doesn't boast about his past achievements. Sima Yue said helplessly. However, I didn't expect that the first familiar person I met after I died would be you. Not bad. At least she wouldn't die today. Humph, if you met someone else, you'd be dead. Cloud Spirit snorted. You dare to trigger the lightning tribulation with such little power. If it was in the past, 2 bolts of lightning would have struck you. Then please be merciful this time. After all, I owe him a favor. Sima Yue said. Why do you need me to repay the favor you owe? Cloud Spirit glared at her. Hee, aren't we good friends? Sima Yue said with a smile. Good friends should help each other, right? Humph. You said you would give me fruit wine last time, but you stood me up too. Cloud Spirit said unhappily. Sima Yue smiled. I was busy at that time. Now that I have time, I'll get it for you. Don't you have any stock? Cloud Spirit licked its lips. It's locked up. Without spiritual power, it can't be opened. Sima Yue sighed. After a while, when I cultivate spiritual power, I'll be able to open it. I've saved a lot of stock over the years, I'll give it to you then. You said it yourself. Don't stand me up this time. Otherwise, I'll hack you to death and scatter your soul, leaving nothing behind. The Cloud Spirit was very resentful about being stood up last time. Okay, I'll keep my promise this time. Sima Yue promised. Humph, I'll believe you this time. Cloud Spirit said. However, you don't have any power now. You might die before you cultivate spiritual power. Then I can't do anything about it. Sima Yue shrugged. Power wasn't something that could be obtained just because you wanted it. Come with me. Cloud Spirit said and turned to leave. Sima Yue stepped on the cloud. It was the first time she walked on the cloud without power. She had a feeling that she would fall. She followed Cloud Spirit to the middle of the cloud and saw a pool platform. She remembered where she was. Last time, she got a lot of thunder liquid here. Let the guy in your body come out. Cloud Spirit said unwillingly. Sima Yue was startled and then understood that it was talking about Little Purple. Don't you want to eat it like last time? She called out top-grade purple thunder. At this time, Little Purple was still a ball of purple gas. Although it could talk, it couldn't transform. Can your body take it? Cloud Spirit rolled its eyes at her, grabbed Little Purple and threw it into the thunder pool. Its rude look showed how much it cared about it. Meow, so comfortable. After top-grade purple thunder entered the thunder pool, it quickly drank all the thunder liquid. Then, without waiting for Cloud Spirit to speak, it came out of the thunder pool and jumped into the center of the pool. Sima Yue found that the more thunder liquid the top-grade purple thunder drank, the more solid its body became. In the end, it turned into a purple kitten. When it finished drinking all the thunder liquid, Cloud Spirit was about to cry. Sima Yue patted its head and said, I'll give you more fruit wine later so that you can drink it every day. I'll come and find you next time. Cloud Spirit looked at her meaningfully. That deep look made Sima Yue have a bad feeling. Okay, it's almost time. You can go down. After saying that, it sent Sima Yue back to the ground. Sima Yue just stood still when she heard a cry above her head. She looked up and saw top-grade purple thunder being thrown down rudely. She was speechless. Cloud Spirit was really awkward. Chapter 1765. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Meow, Sima Yue saw the dust splashed on the ground and felt sorry for Little Purple for 2 seconds. Abominable Cloud Spirit, you are jealous. Little Z got up from the ground and shouted at the Cloud Spirit in the air. Bang! A bolt of lightning struck Little Purple directly, indicating the Cloud Spirit's response to it. Sima Yue was speechless. Did the Cloud Spirit forget that the lightning was a great supplement for Little Purple? Little Gray Bird was shocked when it saw the lightning, but when it saw that it was not struck on its body, it breathed a long sigh of relief. Sima Yue went up and picked up Little Purple. Seeing it like this, she reminded it, the tribulation is about to begin. Before Little Gray Bird had time to say that it regretted it, a bolt of lightning struck down and directly fell on its body, striking its body out. Chi, a smell of roasted bird meat spread out. Sima Yue looked at its burnt feathers and mourned for it for 3 minutes. She stood in the same place, and the lightning did not strike her at all, directly ignoring her. Wawa, a Little Gray Bird cried on the ground. Because it was too scared, it directly covered its head with its bare wings. Sima Yue, she really wanted to say, if you are so afraid of death, you dare to go through the tribulation and transform? Okay, don't look like you are going to die in the next second. If you don't use your spiritual power to resist the lightning tribulation, you are going to die. She shouted at it. Wawa, I'm scared. Little Gray Bird said in pain. I have already agreed with the Cloud Spirit that the lightning tribulation given to you will not kill you. But if you continue to be like this, then I can't help it. Sima Yue said, it's up to you. When Little Gray Bird heard her say this, it had some confidence in its heart. It looked up at the tribulation cloud and bravely said, then I will try. After that, it tried to mobilize the power in its body and attacked the lightning tribulation. Seeing its posture, the spirit beasts of atavistic Orchid Mountain admired it. Boss is so powerful. He actually dared to resist the heavenly thunder directly. That's right. It would be great if we could have such strength one day. Haha, are you jealous of Boss? Then go and cultivate properly. The beasts of the atavistic Orchid Mountain were all motivated at this time. In the following days, the entire atavistic Orchid Mountain rarely saw any underworld beasts. They all went into closed-door cultivation. Those who came to atavistic Orchid Mountain to seek treasures were also attracted by the thunder tribulation and rushed here. Why would a sacred beast choose to transform? Could it be that it has the confidence to survive the lightning tribulation? Could it be because of the treasure? What does the manifestation lightning tribulation have to do with treasures? We've been here for so long, but we haven't gained anything. We don't even have a few decent underworld beasts. I think we should go back as soon as possible. You won't get anything. What's the rush? No matter what, he had to wait until the lightning tribulation was over. I want to see if that sacred beast can successfully cross the tribulation. That's true. Mu Kai met Chao Chingon and the others. When he saw Chao Chingon and Uncle Guang, he asked, "Where are she and the others?" Mu Kai was embarrassed for a moment, and then said, "We were attacked by 3 sacred beasts. We split up and fled halfway." Chao Chingon didn't think much about it. Generally, when they encountered such a situation, they would flee separately. The possibility of survival was greater. I don't know which sacred beast is transforming. He looked in the direction of the lightning tribulation. I don't know how little Yuan and the others are now. They should be fine. Mu Kai said without confidence. Let's go and see the sacred beast. Chao Chingon said. Let's not go. In case something happens, it's too late for us to escape. Mu Kai said, we didn't bring any guards. Chao Chingon thought about it and gave up. At this time, in the direction of Eternal Brilliant City, all the forces were alarmed by the vision of atavistic Orchid Mountain, and many people rushed over there. Murong Hui and the patriarchs of several families were strong and soon arrived at atavistic Orchid Mountain. They saw groups of people, but they didn't see their own juniors and contacted them one after another. Murong Hui and the patriarchs of Xiao family and Gongzi family found Murong Bai and Gongzi Yuan together. Seeing the two of them, the patriarchs of Xiao family and Gongzi family were relieved. However, when they saw the sacred beast Big Black Bird, they still sweated in their hearts. Fortunately, the two of them were fine. If something happened, how could they explain it to their families? Where is she? A-class equals __CF email ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection, email protected, saw Sima Yue and asked. She? Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai stopped talking. What's wrong with her? Murong Hui's heart sank. Did something happen to her again? Who did it? Xiao Ruobai pointed to the lightning tribulation area and said, she is inside. She is in the lightning tribulation? Murong Hui couldn't believe it. How could she be there? Didn't she know how to escape when the lightning tribulation came? Gongzi Yuan looked at the big black bird, and then told him about the 3 sacred beasts chasing them, bringing them here, and bringing Sima Yue up the mountain alone. Uncle Hui, don't worry. We have been looking over there. Every tribulation lightning struck the sacred beast. She should be fine now. Xiao Ruobai comforted. How is that possible? Wasn't she also targeted by the lightning tribulation? Xiao family patriarch said in surprise. We don't know, but we paid special attention to it. It was really all on the sacred beast. Gongzi Yuan said. City Lord, in that case, you don't have to worry too much. We'll just wait. Gongzi family patriarch said. We can only wait. Murong Hui looked at the tribulation clouds. They could only wait here and couldn't do anything, because any participation would be harmful to the people in the lightning tribulation. Even though he was going easy on them, it still took him more than half an hour. Cloud Spirit finally said, don't forget, and then patted its butt and left. Sima Yue was reminded one last time and laughed helplessly. This guy would definitely keep a close eye on her this time. A black light flashed. She looked over and saw the bald little gray bird was shrouded in black light. This guy, after crying the whole process, finally got what he wanted. Murong Hui's slightly anxious and worried voice came. She looked back and saw Murong Hui and the others rushing over. Father! Sima Yue carried little Z over. Why are you here? We heard the movement here and came. Murong Hui pulled her and looked carefully. Are you okay? Sima Yue saw the worry in his eyes and knew that he might think of his daughter because she looked like her. Father, I'm fine. She smiled. Are you really okay? Murong Hui didn't believe it. How could someone who had experienced the lightning tribulation be okay? He pulled her over and checked her carefully. He really didn't find any scars on her body. Chapter 1766. In 1 second she remembered, love divided by you? Reads book web no pop-up window. Free to read. Gong Ziyuan and the others also came up and looked at Sima Yue in surprise. Are you really okay? Xiao Ruobai patted her body and found that she really didn't have any hidden injuries. How could it be? Xiao Clan's patriarch looked at Sima Yue suspiciously. What secret technique did you use? Sima Yue didn't know who this person was, but looking at his temperament and strength, it was estimated that he was similar to Murong Hui. Maybe it's because it's the one who went through the tribulation, so the lightning struck it. Sima Yue pointed to Little Gray Bird. Although everyone felt that it was impossible, they couldn't find a more reasonable explanation. No matter what, it's good that you're okay. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /seed/email protection datic female equals 7C1F33CB7 seaning. Email protected. Thank you, father. Sima Yue smiled. What's going on? It asked you to come and see it? Why did it suddenly transform? Gong Ziyuan asked. I don't know what happened. Sima Yue shrugged. I came up here, the little bird gave me this kitten, and then said that it wanted to transform. Before I could run, the tribulation clouds came. Then are we leaving now? Xiao Ruobai looked at Little Gray Bird who was still transforming and asked. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /seed/l/email protection datic female equals 03519E0C6C. Email protected, glanced at Little Gray Bird, pulled Sima Yue to his side, and said, Wait, I want to find out why he brought here. Sima Yue looked up at Murong Hui and smiled slightly. If he just pretended to care about his daughter in front of outsiders, he didn't have to do this. Therefore, this person was not completely using her. Fortunately, they had already colluded in the process of transcending the tribulation. Even if he asked, he wouldn't be able to get anything out of them. Father, Sima Yue pulled Murong Hui. Before she could speak, Murong Hui patted her hand. His action was the same as when Sima Lu Xian patted her. Don't worry, we are here. Murong Hui comforted. Sima Yue wanted to say that was not what she wanted to ask, but because of his actions, she did not say anything else. Soon, the black light dissipated, and a short man in gray clothes appeared in front of everyone. The moment he transformed, all the underworld beasts in the entire atavistic Orchid Mountain bowed down to show their respect. I've finally succeeded in transforming. Little Gray Bird excitedly rushed towards Sima Yue. When he saw her looking at him, he quickly changed his words. I really did it. I've really transformed into a human. That's right. Sima Yue was smiling, but she was complaining in her heart. Who was the one who was screaming earlier? Venerable, I am the City Lord of Eternal Brilliant City, Shi-Er's father. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /seed/l/email protection, email protected, took a step forward and stood in front of Sima Yue, blocking Little Gray Bird. I don't care what you are. Little Gray Bird subconsciously wanted to get rid of Murong Hui who was in front of him, but he saw Sima Yue poking her head out from behind Murong Hui and looking at him. She looked like she wanted him to try. Seeing her eyes and thinking of her familiarity with the tribulation, he shrank his neck and restrained his excitement. He nodded to Murong Hui and said, Oh, you are Shi-Er's father. Murong Hui looked down at Sima Yue and then looked at Little Gray Bird with some curiosity in his eyes. Venerable, do you know my daughter? Yes, well, I didn't know her before, but now I know her. Little Gray Bird said, That strange cat wanted to follow her, so I could only send someone to invite her over. That's all? Yes, that's all. Little Gray Bird nodded seriously, but no one present felt that way. In that case, if there is nothing else, we will leave first. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /seed/l/email protection datic female equals 31 ECB71 FA84. Email protected. That. Little gray bird looked at Sima Yue pitifully. Do you have anything else? Can I leave with you? Little gray bird asked. You want me to go with you? Sima Yue looked at him in surprise. Why? It's safer to be with you. Little gray bird said shamelessly. Everyone, little gray bird, you are a sacred beast, but you say that you feel safer with someone who has no spiritual power? Sima Yue refused without thinking. Little gray bird looked hurt. Because I am not interested in a stupid bird. Sima Yue said and turned to go down the mountain. Little gray bird wanted to chase after her, but Sima Yue put Little Purple on her shoulder. Seeing Little Purple, Little gray bird subconsciously took a step back. Oh, I am not stupid. Little gray bird said with grievance. But Sima Yue did not care and left with Little Purple. The rest of the people looked at her, then looked at Little gray bird, and finally followed her, leaving Little gray bird alone in the wind. He, a sacred beast, was despised by a little girl who had not cultivated spiritual power yet. He felt 10,000 points of hurt. He needed to heal himself. Fortunately, many sacred beasts came at this time. Seeing those admiring eyes, his hurt heart slowly calmed down. They went down the mountain, and it did not take long for them to see other people waiting on the way. You guys finally came out. Are you okay inside? Chao Chungan saw them and ran over to ask. It's okay. What can happen to us? Gong Ziyuan said with a smile, but you guys haven't left yet. Didn't you think that I haven't found you yet? If you say that I left first, you will say that I lost to you. Chao Chungan said, how about it? When will we have the final competition? Let's compete when we go back. I will definitely have more than you. Gong Ziyuan patted him on the shoulder and laughed. Hey, let's go back. It's not certain who has more or less. Chao Chungan said unconvinced. City Lord. The others saluted Murong Hui. It may not be safe here recently. You did not bring any guards with you. You should go back early. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdi/l/ email protection datic female equals B36E3CF 37806 email protected. City Lord, can we go back with you? Elder Guang asked. Murong Hui glanced at Elder Guang. He had heard about the previous things from Xiao Ruobai, so he did not have a good impression of the Mu family. Elder Guang, you came from Mu City. You don't need to go with us for such a small matter, right? He said lightly. Besides, what if there are other dangers with us? My daughter will always be with me. Goodbye. After that, he took Sima Yue's hand and left. Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai looked at each other, glanced at the embarrassed Mu Kaiyan and Elder Guang, and left with Murong Hui. Xiao family head and Gongzi family head saw this and also left. Chao Chungan and the others felt extremely embarrassed. They looked at the Mu family and did not know what to say for a while. Sima Yue looked at Murong Hui, who was faintly emitting anger. She felt that Murong she was really a happy woman, but unfortunately, her life was too short. Chapter 1767. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. After returning to Eternal Brilliant City, Sima Yue was brought back to the City Lord's mansion by Murong Hui. As for the result of the competition between Gong Ziyuan and Chao Chungan, it would not take long for her to know. You don't have to attend the youth exchange tomorrow. Have a good rest at home. A class equals __cf email ref equals /cdncgi/l/ email protection datic female equals 587D511F email protected. Thank you, father. Sima Yue said with a smile. Silly child, don't be so polite with father. Murong Hui reached out to rub her head, but his hand paused in midair and he took it back. The atmosphere suddenly became a little awkward. If you want to treat me as Murong Shi, it's also possible. Sima Yue looked at him. I know, you did this today for this reason. She was not so narcissistic to think that a person who had just known her for a short time would take risks for her. Everything was just because she looked like his daughter. Perhaps he placed his feelings for his daughter on her, or perhaps it was because he did not want to see her, who looked like his daughter, hurt. Morong Hui had a kind of embarrassment of being seen through. He left a sentence to have a good rest and left. Sima Yue looked at his back and sighed deeply. She turned and returned to her courtyard. After instructing Ting Shan and Ting Shui not to be disturbed, she flashed into the spirit pagoda. The spirit pagoda was still the same. She looked at the gray area and felt a little depressed. "Father, wait for me, I will let you out soon," she murmured. She stayed in the spirit pagoda for a while before going out. She told Ting Shan and Ting Shui that she was going to cultivate and no one was to disturb her. She had already touched the threshold of Underworld Fiend Master. As long as she worked hard for a few more days, she would succeed. She took out the black bead, carefully washed it several times, and then swallowed it. Oh, after swallowing it, she felt her whole body was comfortable, as if every pore was opened and absorbing the soul power between heaven and earth. With this, we'll definitely be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort. Sima Yue said, but we don't know who left this for her. It shouldn't be the old ancestor. The old ancestor has been trapped for many years. Who could it be? His kindness for no reason made her feel a little uneasy. Then she took out the jade bed and sat on it to cultivate. With the dual effects of the jade bed and the black pearl, her speed increased by a lot. She originally thought that she would need around 10 days to advance, but she didn't expect that she would advance on the third day. Suddenly, she opened her eyes, and a hint of helplessness flashed across her eyes. I've already turned into a soul body, yet I still can't avoid this. She sighed, put away the jade bed, and opened the door to leave. The city lord's mansion was already in a mess. Seeing her come out, Ting Shan and Ting Shui said, "Miss, don't come out. It's very dangerous here." Sima Yue saw that the two of them were uncomfortable due to the lightning in the air, but they were still guarding outside. She comforted them, "It's okay, it'll be over soon. I'll go look for father." A class equals __cf email __ ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals CD10428D1F7F. Email protected, put down the things in his hands. The tribulation cloud appeared over the city lord's mansion. Such a big matter, no matter how important it was, he had to put it down. "Master, why did this tribulation cloud appear inexplicably?" The butler was also very anxious. If it struck down, the city lord's mansion would be finished. "Go and check if anything strange happened in the mansion." Morong Hui ordered. "Yes. Father, there's no need to check." Sima Yue ran in from outside and took Morong Hui's hand. "Take me out of the city." You want to go out? It's indeed safer to leave the city at this time. I'll let someone take you out. A class equals __cf email _ ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals 568BD9169-3. Email protected. The tribulation cloud in the sky was still expanding, almost enveloping the entire eternal brilliant city. The city was already in an uproar. At this time, as the city lord, how could he leave? "Father, this tribulation cloud is coming for me. As long as I leave, Eternal Brilliance City will be safe." Sima Yue said. "What did you say?" Morong Hui and the butler were surprised. How could the tribulation thunder come for her? "I don't have time to explain to you now. Take me out quickly. It's useless to leave late," Sima Yue said anxiously. At this time, the tribulation thunder had not locked on to the person who was going through the tribulation. Once it began to lock on, the entire city would be regarded as the person who was going through the tribulation. Thinking of the consequences, she couldn't help but shudder. Morong Hui only thought for a moment, then grabbed her hand, opened the space channel, and took her away. When she disappeared from Eternal Brilliant City, the tribulation cloud that shrouded the sky slowly dissipated. Morong Hui took her to a barren mountain. There were not even 2 underworld beasts here. Crossing the tribulation here would not hurt others. Father, I'll explain this to you later. Leave here first," Sima Yue requested. "But, Can you bear it? Murong Hui was a little worried. Don't worry, I used to be struck by lightning often. It's just the first time since I came to the ghost realm. Father, you should leave quickly. Murong Hui saw her confident eyes and the tribulation clouds that were quickly gathering in the sky. He no longer delayed and left the area of the tribulation thunder in a flash. After he left, Sima Yue no longer suppressed the power in her body and began to attack the underworld fiend master. As for the tribulation clouds in the sky, they had become much stronger as she advanced in level. A class equals __cf email __ ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection. The location of email protected just avoided the tribulation thunder, and he could clearly see Sima Yue's situation. When he found that she was actually advancing, and the tribulation thunder became more powerful because of her advancement, his eyes flashed. Boom! The soul power in her body broke through the shackles and flowed quickly in her body. Everything around her became clearer, and everything seemed to be back in her control again. However, before she had time to enjoy this wonderful feeling, she had to face the huge energy above her head. Only Little Purple came out when she advanced. Looking at the tribulation clouds in the sky, it was very excited. Sima Yue stood up and looked at Little Purple speechlessly. She picked it up, poked its head, and said, "Sister, I'll leave my life and death in your hands today. Don't worry, I'll protect you." Little Purple clapped its two paws and said, "Pa." The tribulation thunderstruck, and Sima Yue's body was stiff and fell to the ground with a thud. The moment she fell, she realized that she was actually struck. Damn, didn't this useless cat say that it would protect her? It actually let her get struck? It was just a lightning bolt and she couldn't move. Little Purple jumped on her and said, "Don't worry, it's good to be struck. You only took a third of the lightning bolt just now. Then you should have reminded me." Sima Yue glared at it. Little Purple meowed at her. At this time, there was a tribulation thunder falling from the sky. It jumped and blocked all the tribulation thunder in midair. Murong Hui saw that Sima Yue didn't even take a single lightning bolt, and his heart instantly clenched. But when he saw that the purple cat took all the remaining lightning bolts, he was so shocked that his jaw almost fell. Chapter 1768. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. Oh, so full. After the tribulation, little Z patted her stomach. Sima Yu rolled her eyes helplessly when she saw her belly that was obviously rounder. That look was really embarrassing. Murong Hui had now recovered, but because the tribulation cloud had not dispersed, he did not dare to rush over. Sima Yue looked at the tribulation cloud that was unwilling to leave and knew what it was waiting for. This cloud spirit, it had already fallen, but it was still thinking about this. Fortunately, she sensed that after her successful advancement, the wine cellar was unlocked. With a thought, hundreds of jars of fruit wine and the hangover pills that she had refined before appeared around her. Because of improper calculation, she was almost buried by the wine jars. That's more like it. The cloud spirit's playful voice came from the clouds, and then thunder and lightning turned into chains and fell from the sky, rolling all the wine jars to the sky. Don't forget to take the hangover pills. It won't do if you make a mistake. Sima Yue reminded. I know. The cloud spirit got the fruit wine and left contentedly. This scene made Murong Hui even more surprised. Seeing the tribulation cloud leave, he didn't have time to think and ran over. Seeing that she was injured, he said, "How are you? Take the pill first." Sima Yue ate the pill he fed her and felt that her painful body was relieved a lot. "Father, thank you," she said weakly. Murong Hui checked her body. Although she was struck like charcoal, it was all external injuries. She could recover after taking some pills. "You and that lightning tribulation, it's my friend," Sima Yue said. "You are the daughter of the Dark Princess in the human world? A class equals __cf email ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection. Datic female equals CB16448B067003700007E. Email protected. You guessed it. Sima Yue was not surprised. I should have guessed it. A class equals __CF email ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection. You look so much like she, I should have thought of you when I saw you. Huh. Sima Yue did not understand what he meant. She-er's mother and your mother are cousins, and they look very similar. She-er and her mother look almost exactly the same. Therefore, everyone knew that she-er was very similar to the Dark Princess. Other than the Dark Princess, the only other person who looks so similar to she-er is her daughter. A class equals __CF email ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection. Moreover, some of the things that happen to you in the human realm have also spread in the ghost realm. It's just that no one knows what you look like yet. Sima Yue did not expect that Murong Hui was actually her relative. He was also her uncle. I know that you are very powerful in the human realm, so I didn't expect that you would come to the ghost realm. So I didn't think about it. A class equals __CF email ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection. Datic female equals 6db0e2 to the 6 date. Email protected. Uncle. Sima Yue shouted. You should call me father. Murong Hui stopped her from changing her words. If some people know that you have come to the ghost realm, I'm afraid it will be very dangerous. Especially Anaheim's family. You killed Yudu, they all want to kill you for revenge. However, if you appear with the identity of she, even if they find out that you look similar to the Dark Princess, they will not doubt your identity. But if you are found out, you will also be in trouble. We have been indebted to the Dark Princess, so it is right to help her take care of you. Since I am your uncle, if you don't mind, we can recognize each other as godparents. You can be my medical adopted daughter, and you don't have to care about that name. Sima Yue was a little moved and sincerely called, Father. I didn't expect that I lost a daughter, and now I have another daughter. A class equals __CF email ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection. Datic female equals A07D2Fe06B15. Email protected. I'll take you back to recuperate first. He leaned over and picked up Sima Yue. At this time, little Z fell from the air, and he was scared to take 2 steps back. The underworld beast that could eat electricity gave him a strong sense of crisis. Father, it's okay, little Z won't hurt you. Sima Yue said. What kind of underworld beast is it? Murong Hui was still a little afraid. It's not an underworld beast. It's the purple thunder. Purple thunder? What's that? It's the thunder tribulation that fell to the human world. Sima Yue didn't know how to explain it. You can think of it as a thunder underworld beast that is more powerful than the thunder tribulation. Murong Hui saw little Z grinning at him, and knew that it was definitely not smiling at him, but threatening him. Little Z, if you don't come back, we will go back. Sima Yue threatened. Little Z didn't scare Murong Hui, and rushed towards Sima Yue. When it approached her, it turned into a purple light and returned to her body. Okay, father, let's go back. When Murong Hui returned to the City Lord Mansion with Sima Yue in his arms, everyone was still immersed in the previous fear. It couldn't be helped, who let the thunder tribulation be too terrifying for the people of the Ghost Clan. Ting Shan and Ting Shui were wandering anxiously in the yard. Sima Yue didn't come back after she went out, and they didn't know if she was scared. Suddenly, Ting Shan felt that there was a movement in the air, and in a blink of an eye, she saw Murong Hui coming back with Sima Yue in his arms. Miss. Ting Shan ran over and saw Sima Yue was scorched black, and she cried out in surprise. Go open the door. Murong Hui ordered. Ting Shui was close to the room, so she turned and ran to open the door. Murong Hui carried Sima Yue in and carefully put her on the bed. Master, what happened to Miss? Ting Shan and Ting Shui followed in and asked. She accidentally encountered someone else's tribulation. A class equals __cf_email_ref equals /seed and cgi/l/email protection datic female equals 23 feek 63 896 email protected. Don't let anyone know about this, understand? Yes, master. Ting Shan and Ting Shui replied at the same time. They have all sworn loyalty to the Murong family, so don't worry about them leaking the news. Murong Hui explained to Sima Yue. He was also telling her that these two people were trustworthy. I know, father. Sima Yue said. Then you have a good rest. I still have to deal with some things. A class equals __cf_email_ref equals /seed and cgi/l/email protection datic female equals 68B5E723DD email protected. Sima Yue nodded. After today's incident, the people in Eternal Brilliance City needed to be appeased, and the Tribulation Place also needed to be dealt with. Ting Shan and Ting Shui are here. If you need anything, just tell them. Murong Hui exhorted again before leaving. Ting Shan and Ting Shui sent him out. Seeing him like this, they felt that the relationship between Master and Miss had returned to how it was before. Recently, they even felt that the old Master was treating the young Miss coldly. Sima Yue exhaled a long breath, closed her eyes and began to rest. At this time, the only thing she could do was to sleep. Because of the injury on her body and the effect of the medicine, she quickly fell asleep. What she didn't notice was that after she fell asleep, the black bead in her body began to rotate quickly, emitting a faint light. The light walked in her body, and wherever it went, the injuries caused by the thunder and lightning would recover. When she woke up, her external injuries were completely healed. Chapter 1769. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Read books web, updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue slept for a day and a night. Ting Shan and Ting Shui came in several times and found that there was no sign of her, so they immediately went to report to Murong Hui. A class equals __cf_email_ref equals /seed and cgi/l/email protection email protected, found that Sima Yue's body had recovered a lot, and many of her injuries had been completely healed. Master, Mrs. Body, serve Miss well and don't ask anything else. A class equals __cf_email_ref equals /seed and cgi/l/email protection email protected, glanced at Ting Shui. Don't say anything. Do you understand? Yes, master, we won't say anything. Ting Shan understood Murong Hui's eyes and pulled Ting Shui to kneel down. Ting Shui also quickly followed, indicating that she would not say anything. Remember, you're not allowed to tell anyone about the young lady. Do you remember clearly? He warned again. We know. The two responded. Take good care of Miss, and report to me if there is anything. Murong Hui left after speaking. Ting Shan and Ting Shui stood up from the ground. Ting Shui patted her chest and said, Why do I feel that there is still some difference between Master and Miss? You noticed it too? Ting Shan felt her legs go soft and moved to the stool to sit down. Master used to dote on Miss, but now it seems… Like what? I can't tell, but it seems to be a little respectful. It doesn't seem right. In short, it's different from before. It's weird. Ting Shui frowned. She really couldn't tell the feeling in her heart. It seems that you and I feel the same. Ting Shui said, Now Master seems to love Miss too much. He doesn't dote on her enough, but he cares more about her. Yes, that's it. Ting Shui said, Ting Shan, tell me what's wrong with Master and Miss. Could it be that Master is disappointed in young Miss because young Miss was hunted down last time? What's going on isn't something we can guess. Ting Shan said, If we want to live, we shouldn't think so much. Just do whatever Master and Miss tell us to do. Don't ask or say anything. Do you understand? Yes. Master has already warned us twice about this. For the sake of our own lives, we can't tell anyone about Mississippi, Ting Shui nodded. It seems that Master still has some lingering fears about the last time young Miss was hunted down. Ting Shan looked at Sima Yue on the bed and murmured, Is this really the case? When Sima Yue woke up, it was already noon the next day. She moved her body and realized that her body was no longer in pain. She waved her right hand in front of her eyes and exclaimed in surprise. Am I seeing things? Or am I hallucinating? She waved her hand. That's right, it was her hand. But weren't her claws burnt earlier? How did they get better after a nap? She sat up and found that the injuries on her body were also healed. She was sure that it was not an illusion. Am I really okay? She checked and made sure that she had recovered. She still felt a little incredible. At first, she guessed that it might be because her physique was special. In the past, her injuries would heal automatically. But now she was only a soul body. Her abnormal physique was not brought over. Plus, she was injured last time. She took a long time to recover, which showed that it was not because of her physique. Then what was the reason? Little Z, do you know what's going on? She asked. What's going on? It's just that black bead. Little Z was playing by herself and casually answered. Little black bead? Sima Yue felt the quiet little black bead. Can this thing repair the injured body in addition to helping with cultivation? Maybe. Little Z said. I don't know who left this in atavistic Orchid Mountain. She was even more confused. How could such a good bead be placed in the hands of a stupid bird and wait for her for so many years? Did that person predict the future and know that she would appear here? Don't worry about it. You will know the truth when it's time. It's useless to guess until then. Little Z was open-minded. That's right. She decided not to worry about this issue. No matter who put it here, she benefited. She opened the door and went out. She happened to meet Ting Shan, who was about to come in. Seeing Sima Yue come out so quickly, she ran over and said, Miss, your injuries are not healed yet. Why did you come out? Well, I don't feel comfortable lying down. Sima Yue said, How long did I sleep? A day and a night. Her injuries were completely healed in a day and a night? She knew how serious her injuries were. She recovered so quickly. What was the origin of this little black bead? Where's my father? Master went to attend the youth meeting. Ting Shan said, Master came to see Miss before he left. He told Miss that you must have a good rest when you wake up. In order to not let Master worry, Miss, you should have a good rest. Well, I'm hungry. Go and tell the kitchen to get something to eat. Sima Yue said and turned back. Yes, this servant will go and serve Miss lunch. Sima Yue went back to the house and condensed her soul power. She set up a small enchantment at the door so that people outside could not open the door and come in. Fortunately, the enchantment is still the same. She looked at her results with satisfaction and flashed into the spirit pagoda. The spirit pagoda had changed a lot compared to before. At least it was no longer gray, but blue sky and white clouds. However, the exposed area was still very small. Half of the medicine field was exposed, half of the living area was exposed, and the wine cellar was in the exposed half. Little Spirit had not woken up yet, but she could feel that there was already spiritual power floating in the spirit pagoda. This way, the sleeping beasts could absorb the spiritual power to heal their injured bodies. Unfortunately, her father and Enlei had not come out yet. It seemed that she could only wait for her to advance. Now that I can't use these herbs, it won't be so convenient to refine pills in the future. She looked at the herbs and her heart was filled with emotions. She could go so far on the path of alchemy because of the spirit pagoda. Unfortunately, the spirit body was special and had stricter requirements for herbs. Most of the herbs could not be used to refine pills from the ghost realm. Only some ordinary herbs could be used again. However, it was not a problem to refine pills that the ghost realm wanted. She stayed in the spirit pagoda until she heard the commotion outside. She changed her clothes and went out to open the door for Ting Shan. Ting Shan saw that Sima Yue's clothes were different. She thought that she was just changing her clothes in the house and did not say anything. Instead, she put the lunch on the table. Sima Yue just sat down. Before she could eat, she heard Gongzi Yuan's voice from afar. Chapter 1770. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book web no pop-up window, Free to read. You're still eating lunch? Gong Ziyuan ran in and saw the food on the table. He asked, "Did you make this?" Sima Yue looked at him and said, "This is my room. Why did you come in so casually? What's wrong with this? Wasn't it like this before?" Gong Ziyuan wanted to freeload some food, but when he heard that she didn't make it, he lost his appetite. He pulled a chair and sat opposite Sima Yue. Sima Yue was hungry, so she didn't care about him and started eating. Gong Ziyuan supported his chin and looked at her. Sima Yue was speechless from his stare and poked him with her chopsticks. Gong Ziyuan was shocked and dodged backward to avoid her attack. "If you keep staring at me like this, I'll poke your eyes out." Sima Yue glared at him. She didn't really want to attack him just now, or else this guy wouldn't be able to dodge. Gong Ziyuan's face turned red and defended himself. "Wasn't it like this before? Tell me, why are you here today? Isn't it the youth exchange? I didn't see you in the morning, so I came to ask if you want to go together in the afternoon." Gong Ziyuan said. "What's there to see?" Sima Yue said, "Isn't it just a competition between some young people? It's not exciting." "It's different this time." Gong Ziyuan said, "The people who signed up this time are the geniuses among those people, so it's still worth watching." "Sign up? Isn't it arranged by the various families?" "It used to be, but it's different this time. This time, even those rogue cultivators and those from other places can participate." Gong Ziyuan said, "You know, those people must be ruthless to fight for this. So this competition is still worth watching. Why is it different this time?" Sima Yue asked. "For the city competition." Gong Ziyuan said, "You don't know." Sima Yue shook her head. She had never cared about these things, so of course she did not know. "Oh, you should have forgotten." Gong Ziyuan said, "Didn't I tell you before that your father is actually a duke?" "You mean the competition between counties?" Sima Yue guessed. Gong Ziyuan said, "Every county belongs to the dynasty above them. Some resources are obtained from the dynasty, and the ranking of the counties will affect their status in the dynasty. Therefore, the city competition is very important. How is the strength of my father's county? He has been away from the county manor for so long. Will it affect him? Your prefectures are considered average in our dynasty, neither too high nor too low. But your mother's background is stronger, so you and your father's background are stronger as well. I heard that your mother and Wang Ye are biological siblings." "Biological siblings? Then wouldn't this Wang Ye be mother's cousin?" He wondered what kind of person this uncle of his was and if he could find out some information about his mother. She was only excited for a moment before she suppressed this thought. She did not have any strength now. If she encountered something, how could she deal with it? She did not know how many people her mother had offended. She did not know who was trustworthy and who was not trustworthy in the ghost realm. Therefore, she did not dare to contact these people in the ghost realm. Well, when Godfather came back, she had to remind him to keep it a secret. Gong Ziyuan looked at Sima Yue, who was in a daze and did not speak. He waved his hand in front of her and said, "What are you thinking about? Do you want to go together in the afternoon?" Sima Yue wanted to say that she did not want to go, but she remembered that she had not helped Murong Hui to lure out the people who were chasing Murong Shi. She changed her mind and nodded, "Let me go after lunch." Ting Shan wanted to say that Master had instructed her not to go out, but she thought that it was said to her who was injured. Now that her injury was healed, there should be no need to remind her. Sima Yue did not eat much for lunch. Although this chef was specially found by Murong Hui for Murong Shi, his skills were still not good. After lunch, Gong Ziyuan couldn't wait to take her to the largest venue in Eternal Brilliant City. There was a wide enough dueling platform and tens of thousands of spectator seats around. It was an important place for every major event. There was a rostrum in the middle of the audience. As soon as Sima Yue entered the venue, she saw Murong Hui sitting in the middle. Murong Hui was originally watching the battle in the arena. Suddenly he felt Sima Yue's aura. He looked up and saw her and Gong Ziyuan coming in together. Seeing his disapproving gaze, she smiled at him. "Uncle Hui seems a little angry," Gong Ziyuan said. probably afraid that I will cause trouble for him. Sima Yue smiled. She are over here. Xiao Ruobai saw Sima Yue and Gongzi Yuan and waved to her. Sima Yue walked over and saw that Chao Chenggan was also there. Mu Kaiyan, who had always been with them, was sitting far away in another group of young people. I thought you weren't coming. Xiao Ruobai pulled her to sit beside her. Why didn't you come in the morning? I overslept. Sima Yue said. Are there any interested contestants? There are several. Chao Chenggan said. Really? For the first one is of course me. Chao Chenggan said narcissistically. Narcissistic guy. Gongzi Yuan slapped him on the head. Boss, I will be beaten stupid by you. Chao Chenggan covered his head and protested. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Chao Chenggan called her boss so smoothly. It seemed that their side won the last competition. Don't look at how narcissistic Chao Chenggan is. His strength is still good. He should be able to enter the top 10 in this competition. Xiao Ruobai said. Can I participate in the city competition if I enter the top 10? Sima Yue turned her head and asked. Xiao Ruobai nodded. I was quite confident in the Xiao family's children before, but now it seems that it is uncertain. Aren't you going to participate? We will go directly to the city competition. Sima Yue smiled. Although she didn't know the strength of the Gongzi family and the Xiao family, looking at the temperament of Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai and the strength they showed in the atavistic Orchid Mountain, combined with their age, she should have guessed that their family should be very strong. Just as she was about to turn back, she felt a gaze full of killing intent wrapped around her. When she looked over, she found that there were crowds everywhere. She didn't know who was looking at her. What's wrong? Xiao Ruobai saw her looking around and asked. I just feel that someone is looking at me. Sima Yue didn't find any suspicious people and looked back at Xiao Ruobai. This is the first time you have appeared in such a public place after being hunted down. It is normal to be watched. Chao Chenggan said. Not that kind. Sima Yue said. I will send you back with Gongzi Yuan in a while. Xiao Ruobai understood what she meant and suggested. Chapter 1771. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book web no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue smiled, neither agreed nor refused. Let's watch the competition first. She pouted her lips towards the arena. The next duel had already begun. Well, let's watch first. Xiao Ruobai said, Gongzi Yuan, you can go back and report their strength. If you don't do well, you will be punished. This guy is here to pry for information? You are a traitor. Chao Chenggan looked at Gongzi Yuan in shock. He knew that he came from a big family, but he didn't expect that he was not from their county. Didn't you call him boss? You don't know anything about him. Xiao Ruobai said, and then said to Sima Yue, this guy is from the neighboring county. Don't say that, I'm not a traitor. Your county cities compete among themselves. Gongzi Yuan said, besides, these people can't be compared to our county. In the final competition, these people can't go up. His words were full of contempt for these people. You said there is a county competition above the city competition? Sima Yue asked. There is also a competition between the dynasties above the county competition. Those who can win the dynasty will be personally received by the Ghost King and vigorously cultivated by the Ghost Clan. Of course, those who come out of the county competition will be cultivated by the dynasty, and those who come out of the city competition will be cultivated by the county. Gongzi Yuan said. That's really a long competition. Sima Yue sighed. In fact, it's not bad. The city competition, county competition, and the competition between the dynasties are separated by a year. This year's city competition, next year's county competition, and the year after the year's competition between the dynasties. Xiao Ruobai continued, so, these people can recuperate during this time and can further improve their strength. Sima Yue understood, no wonder these people were so desperate. Whether it was in the human realm or the ghost realm, the resources for cultivation were not so sufficient. If they could be valued and cultivated, it meant that they did not have to worry about resources in the future and their future glory could be imagined. Poof! Because there was no life and death limit in the competition, the people on the stage directly stabbed their opponents to death. The winner was a member of the Mu clan, and the one who died was a rogue cultivator. Sima Yue looked at the man's widened eyes and felt a little sad. He had only wanted to seek a better future, but he had lost his life when he had just embarked on the journey. Soon, someone came to pull the corpse away. The person from the Mu clan happily waved at the people present. Without strength, without background, in this world, there is nothing, she muttered. This world has always been such an unfair one. If today's matter was reversed and the Mu clan's people were killed, this rogue cultivator would not be able to survive. Similarly, if he was a disciple of a large clan, others would have spared his life out of fear of the power behind him. If this person is miserable, it would be better to say that his birth is too tragic. Xiao Ruobai also lamented. The way of the world. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes. I don't want to watch anymore. Do you want to continue? You've just arrived and you're already going back. Sima Yue asked. I'm not interested. She got up and said, You can continue watching. Her purpose of coming here was to draw out the people behind her. Now that her purpose had been achieved, the other party knew that she was still alive, and would definitely reveal themselves. So, there was no need for her to stay here any longer. I'll go back with you. Xiao Ruobai also got up. If someone was really watching you just now, it's too dangerous for you to go back alone. Gongzi Yuan also stood up. His meaning was obvious. He wanted to go with her. Chao Chengan looked at the three of them and wondered if they should go together. You just stay here and watch. When the time comes, tell us the results of today. Gongzi Yuan subconsciously did not want Chao Chengan to join them. He did not want to share Sima Yue's secret with more people now. How did he tell Xiao Ruobai at the beginning? He felt that his brain must have gone haywire. Sima Yue left the venue with the two of them. Shortly after they left, some people also quietly left. Soon after, a shout came from an ordinary house. She's not dead? Yes, boss. The people we sent had seriously injured her and forced her down the cliff. How could she survive without spiritual power to protect her body? Is the news from the beginning confirmed? The news sent back by our people before they were killed did say so. But what this subordinate saw today is also true. Murong, she is really still alive. Boss, the higher-ups indicated that we must kill Murong-shi. We have already reported the news. If we know that she is not dead now, we can't report it. Another person said. With her temper, I'm afraid we can't escape death. The boss's voice trembled a little. He was very afraid of the people behind him. Boss, what we can do now is to kill Murong-shi. Even if the higher-ups know, we can be considered to have atoned for our crimes. In this way, we can still get our lives back, right? The boss pondered for a while and said, This is the only way now. Gather the brothers from other places. We will find an opportunity to make a move. Boss, if we want to make a move, it's best to do it at the youth exchange. Murong Hui will be busy at this time. Go and check the news first. Yes, boss. After Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai sent her to the city lord's mansion, she looked at the figure far away at the end of the street and said, Anyway, there won't be many matches when we go back now. Do you want to come in and have some tea? But Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai both felt that they got along well with her and didn't mind getting along further. Then please come in. Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai followed Sima Yue to her courtyard. Sima Yue led them to the pavilion by the lake. Although most of the things in the ghost realm were gray or dark, the delicately trimmed garden was still very beautiful. Especially the pavilion built by the lake, the terrain was relatively high. It was very comfortable to drink tea by the lake and enjoy the breeze. Seeing Sima Yue really took out the tools to make tea, Xiao Ruobai and Gongzi Yuan were a little surprised. Xiao Ruobai laughed and said, You are really making tea for us? This tea was obtained from my father. Although it's not the best Longjing tea, it's still the best in the entire ghost realm. Sima Yue said, Do you want to try my tea-making skills? If it was the previous Murong-shi, I would definitely say no. But since it's you, I can give it a try. Xiao Ruobai came to her side and sat down. Gong Ziyuan sat down on the other side. Sima Yue quickly made the tea and gave each of them a cup. Try it. Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai took a sip and both of them frowned. Chapter 1772. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web, no pop-up window. Free to read. Sima Yue looked at their strange expressions and asked, Is it bad? She took a sip from the teacup. The taste was good. Your tea art. Xiao Ruobai hesitated. What's wrong? Are you not used to it? Sima Yue asked. No, we want to say that it's delicious, but it's best not to show it in front of others. Gong Ziyuan said. But Sima Yue was puzzled. There is a person in the ghost realm who likes tea art very much. If he knows, he will definitely capture you and imprison you until you teach him the art of tea. Gong Ziyuan said, that person is very powerful and has a strong background. If he wants to imprison you, it's useless for your father to find Wang Ye. Are you talking about Mou? Sima Yue asked. You know him? Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan were surprised. I know him. Sima Yue said, we have also discussed tea art. What? You have also discussed tea art? Gong Ziyuan exclaimed. He didn't capture you? He's very easy to get along with. Sima Yue said, why are you so afraid of him? Although Mou wanted to kill her at first, after knowing that she knew tea, he came over to ask for advice and taught her a lot of underworld skills. Therefore, she felt that Mou was not difficult to get along with. Maybe it's because you also know tea, so you think he's easy to get along with. Xiao Ruobai guessed. That should be the reason. Gong Ziyuan agreed. Is Mou that scary? Sima Yue asked. You don't know, he kills people without blinking, and he has a serious obsession with cleanliness. Whoever dares to approach him, he will immediately kill them. And he is temperamental. 1 second he may be talking and laughing with you, the next second he may cut you into pieces. Gong Ziyuan said. One is Mou, one is Dij. These two are simply the killing gods of the ghost realm. If you meet these two in the future, you have to stay away from them. Xiao Ruobai continued, although that Dij can be considered as your cousin, he is very difficult to get along with. Except for the Dark Princess, he treats everyone. Sima Yue was speechless. She felt that Mou and Dij were very nice. Why were the two of them so scared? Did you make a mistake? She said uncertainly. I've met Dij before. He's a very nice person. As soon as she said this, Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai looked at her in horror. You actually said that the two of them are good? Those were two murderous gods, okay? Do you know that everyone in the ghost realm is afraid of the two of them? Gong Ziyuan's eyes widened as he thought of something. His face was abnormally pale. Is it that scary? Sima Yue asked. Of course. I saw it with my own eyes last time. There was a woman who wanted to get close to Mou. As a result, she was killed by him when she was 10 meters away. That woman was the daughter of a Wang Ye. As a result, that Wang Ye didn't even dare to fart. Instead, he asked for Mou's forgiveness. Gong Ziyuan said, I've also seen Dij kill people, but I saw it from afar. He directly brought people to destroy a family. The reason seems to be that the people of that family said bad things about the Dark Princess. Xiao Ruobai also said. Sima Yue was speechless. She didn't expect the reputation of these two people in the ghost realm to be so good. If I hadn't known you for so long and know what kind of person you are, with what you said, people might think that you are a cold-blooded person like them. Gong Ziyuan said, after all, birds of a feather flock together. So, those who thought that Mou and Dij were good people were definitely not good people? She smiled. I invited you to drink tea and made you think of them. It's my fault for not being considerate. It's not your problem. The main thing is that we heard that Mou and Dij have recently come to your county. We just got the news this morning, so when we drank such good tea, we thought of this. Gong Ziyuan said. They're all here? Yes, and I heard that the two of them are very incompatible. They fought many times along the way and many guards died. Gong Ziyuan said. Wrong, you shouldn't say that. It should be said that Deja pestered Mou to fight many times. Every time Mou let his guards play with Deja, Xiao Ruobai clarified for Mou. With Mou's strength he won't fight with Deja. It's too degrading. Sima Yue looked at Xiao Ruobai. Why do I feel that your words are full of joy? Where? Xiao Ruobai didn't admit it. A person like him, good-looking, cold and arrogant, with strength and background, is indeed the Prince Charming in many girls' hearts. Sima Yue teased. Although it was the first time they heard the word Prince Charming, Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan still understood what it meant. Since you know that they came to this county, do you know where they are? Sima Yue asked. I don't know. Mou's whereabouts are always uncertain, and Deja seems to be pestering him this time. It should be that wherever he is, Deja is there. Sima Yue tapped 3 fingers on the stone table. Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan didn't know what she was thinking. Seeing that the two of them finished drinking tea, she stopped thinking and poured tea for them. You're not thinking of going to see them, are you? Gong Ziyuan asked. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows and smiled. No, I don't want to see them, but how can I not see them? That's good. Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai were relieved. They didn't know why, but when they heard her talk about Mou and Deja, they felt that she would go to them. People like them will be the focus of attention wherever they go. You just have to hide when the time comes. Well, I know. Sima Yue nodded. What she didn't tell the two of them was that when she heard that Mou and Deja were here, she had a sixth sense that they would meet. But now was not a good time to meet. She really had to find a way to hide from them. However, with her current strength and identity, it was really difficult to hide from these two people. Alas, what a headache. In the county manor not too far from Eternal Brilliant City, Deja was knocking open the door of the county manor and walked in angrily. The guard behind him was frightened, afraid that he would be killed by his master. Mou was tasting tea in the courtyard. When he saw Deja come in, a trace of helplessness and impatience flashed in his eyes. Why hasn't this guy left yet? How long will this dog skin plaster stick to him? You broke another door? This door belongs to Murong Hui. When he comes back, you have to give him an explanation. He said slowly. Pass down the order, there is no need to change the door for the county king. Just leave it empty. Yes, master. The guard breathed a sigh of relief and retreated. Don't talk to me about this. Deja stared at him and asked. Did you send someone to kill Murong Shi? Chapter 1773. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Read book web no pop-up windows, free to read. That's right. Mou admitted. He did send people to kill Murong Shi. Mou, I've already targeted your people, how do you still have the strength to kill Murong Shi? Deja shouted. She's just a little girl, how could you be so ruthless to her? I didn't want to kill her. Do you want some tea? Mou poured a cup of tea for Deja and pushed it in front of him. Deja glanced at the tea he handed over, took a sip and said, Didn't we agree not to do anything to Murong Shi? Yes, it wasn't my people who went. It was Anaheim's people who did it. Mou said faintly. Deja was speechless. Our agreement was that you and my people wouldn't do anything. I didn't break the rules. Mou said, You, General D, have killed countless people, why do you care so much about a little girl? Is it because she looks like you Kuluo? You also said that she's just a little girl, why do you want to kill her, isn't it because she looks like my aunt? Deja sneered, Anaheim can't kill my aunt, and also can't kill Yue, but this anger is transferred to Murong Shi who is similar to them. You can go and settle the score with her. I won't stop you, Mou said, but in that case, the little things you did in private may be discovered by her. You're threatening me? Deja narrowed his eyes, a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Don't look at me like that, you can't beat me. Mou said, if it wasn't for you Kuluo's face, would you still be able to pester me for so long? Deja clenched his fists. Mou, don't think that you're the biggest in the ghost realm. I don't think so. Mou said, it's just that I live more freely than you. You're comfortable? I think you've become Anaheim's lackey. Deja said, She asked you to kill, and you killed. How dare you say you're free? I killed Murongshi to return her a small favor. After this matter, she won't be able to order me around. However, you, Great General D, will always be suppressed by her. Instead of wasting time here with me, why don't you go back and think about how to deal with your affairs? Deja narrowed his eyes. Don't look at me like that. If I know about your matters, she will be able to find out too. It's just a matter of time, Mou said. Don't let yourself and the entire D family be implicated before you can save her. It's none of your business. Deja tried to control his anger. Oh, I remember now. You don't care about the D family at all. You don't even care if they live or die. But if it's because of your mistake and we fail to save you Kuluo, will you not care? Shut your mouth. Deja waved his hand and smashed the rockery not far away. Are you angry from embarrassment? With your mentality, how can you fight with the Anaheim? How can you save you Kuluo? Mou chuckled. Humph, master. A man in black came in from outside the courtyard and stopped outside the pavilion. Mou glanced at Deja and asked, What's the matter? Master, the people below reported that Murongshi is not dead. The man said, Not dead? Mou's voice was drawn out. His voice was still the same, but it made people feel that he was a little angry. At that time, the news they sent back was indeed that she was dead, but our people found that she was actually still alive. Tisk hithe, it seems that the people of the Anaheim are very useless. Deja laughed, his words full of contempt. Is the news confirmed? Mou asked. Last time at Atavistic Orchid Mountain, they saw it with their own eyes. Since she is not dead, why did they report that she is dead? The news that those people sent back before they died said that Murongshi had been seriously injured and had no spiritual power. She also fell down the cliff and would definitely die. It seems that Murongshi is really lucky to not die. Deja sneered, You don't abide by the rules, so I don't need to abide by our agreement. Lu, let's go find Uncle to talk about the old days. Do you want to personally protect Murongshi? It just so happens that I also want to see what kind of person can actually survive under such conditions. Why don't we go together? Mou smiled. Only a ghost would want to be with you. Deja sneered and turned around to leave with Lu. Mou looked at Deja and sighed helplessly, Aren't you just a ghost? Master, do you want to send someone to Eternal Brilliant City? No need, I will go personally. Mou said, I also want to see how similar the so-called woman who looks like you Kuluo is. How similar is she to her? Yes, this subordinate will go and prepare. After sending away the two worried people, Sima Yue did not even have time to breathe a sigh of relief before Muronghui walked in from outside. Why did you suddenly run out? Do you know that it is very dangerous outside? A class equals __cf email ref equals /c_guy/l/email protection. Seeing that she had been looking at him with a smile, the fire in his heart slowly dissipated. Don't do such dangerous things in the future. He reached out and poked her forehead. I know, father, you have always sent people to follow me. As long as I go out, there will be people secretly protecting me. Sima Yue said with a smile, and if we don't do anything, they won't do anything. Look, I went out for a walk and immediately found something. What happened to you? Are you hurt? Why didn't I get any news? Father, I'm fine. They haven't made a move yet. Sima Yue said, It's just that when I was at the venue, I felt that I was being watched. Then when Ruabai and I came back, we were also tailed. They actually didn't inform me. Muronghui was furious. How can they not inform me about this kind of thing? As he spoke, he went to find the people he had arranged. Father, don't worry. Sima Yue pulled him. I told them not to say anything. You are so busy and nothing happened, there is no need to disturb you. If something really happened, I will definitely tell you first. You girl. Muronghui looked at her helplessly. If she was half as sensible as you, I wouldn't have to worry so much. She is your treasure. She is very good, she is your joy. Sima Yue said. Even if she leaves, She will be happy and let you continue to accompany me. Murong-hui comforted in his heart and entrusted his feelings to her, but there will be no next time. You know your identity and you don't want me to say anything. I want to protect you with my strength. I am very worried. A-class equals __cf_email_ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals D90456999126C email protected. Are we really not going to tell Wang Ye? No need. Maybe we will meet someone else. Sima Yue curled her lips. Someone else? I just have a hunch now. I hope my hunch is wrong. Chapter 1774. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. However, that was just her beautiful imagination. Without the scarlet bees watching everywhere, she didn't know much about the news outside. So, when she saw Dijia and Mou, she was already on the road of escape with Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan. During the days of the youth exchange, she stayed at home and didn't go out. Gong Ziyuan and Xiao Ruobai would come to accompany her from time to time and tell her about the competition until the last day of the youth exchange. On this day, after Murong-hui packed up, he was ready to go to the venue, just like the previous few days. The only difference was that Sima Yue found him before he went out. Father, I'm going out today. Murong-hui stopped and looked at her. You're going out? Today is the last day of the youth exchange. I think if I go out today, they are most likely to make a move. Sima Yue said. Murong-hui frowned. But today is the final, I have to attend. If you go out now, I won't be at ease. Father, don't worry, didn't you arrange a lot of people around me? They are more powerful than Shiyu's people, right? So nothing will happen. Sima Yue said, and I have little Z. With it, no one can hurt me. But Murong-hui was still hesitant. I don't want to experience the same thing a second time. Father, I can protect myself better than she. You can also protect me better. I will be fine. I have more important things to do. I won't joke with my life. He said. Master, it's almost time. A guard ran from the front and whispered. I'll leave the housekeeper here. You can go out after discussing. Murong-hui glanced at the housekeeper and said, Okay. Sima Yue promised. She wouldn't joke with her life. Murong-hui saw that she agreed, so he agreed to let her go out, told the housekeeper to protect her well, and then left with the guard. The butler stepped forward and bowed to Sima Yue, saying, Young mistress, you need some time to gather everyone. If anything happens to you, we have enough strength to rush over and protect you. Okay, I'll go out in the afternoon. Tell me about the arrangements that father made for you. Sima Yue smiled at the steward. In the afternoon, when she swaggered out of the city lord mansion, she saw Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan who were just about to come in. Didn't you two say that you won't be coming over today? Ruobai said she was worried that you would do something stupid, so she had to come and take a look. Gong Ziyuan shrugged, as if saying that women were really troublesome. So, I actually guessed right. Xiao Ruobai looked at Sima Yue and said, I have something to do. I'm afraid I don't have time to entertain you today. Sima Yue said, I'll treat you to tea tomorrow and let you know the final result. We're all here. Do you think we'll leave? Xiao Ruobai said. Yeah. Where are you going? We'll go with you. Gong Ziyuan said. What I'm going to do is more private. It's not convenient to take you with me. Sima Yue refused directly. Come on, don't we know you? Gong Ziyuan said, We'll follow you today. You, we're worried about your safety. Gong Ziyuan said. But it's more dangerous to follow me. Sima Yue said helplessly. After the last incident, the family sent 2 underworld royal masters to protect us. So this time it won't be like last time. Gong Ziyuan smiled proudly. Sima Yue shook her head helplessly and said, Let's go. Where are we going? The two followed her footsteps. The wilderness is suitable for doing bad things. Sima Yue said, Didn't you attack in atavistic Orchid Mountain last time? I still plan to go to Atavistic Orchid Mountain. I knew it. You're fine, Gongzi Yuan said. With you here, I'll be fine. Sima Yue looked disgusted. When they went out of the city gate, they immediately felt that someone was following them. Although they all pretended to be people who went to Atavistic Orchid Mountain to gain experience, their eyes betrayed them from time to time. Where did these people come from? Why did they come to kill you? Gongzi Yuan said. I'm a waste who can't do anything. Sima Yue said, sending so many people to kill me is already thinking highly of me, okay? That's true. Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruabai both nodded in agreement. Sima Yue, by the way, did you know that there was a thunder tribulation here last time? Xiao Ruabai asked. I was in the City Lord Mansion. Sima Yue said, you came to see it? When we came, there was nothing here. I don't know who was crossing the tribulation here. Thinking about it, the thunder tribulation was quite big at that time. That person might have been killed. Gongzi Yuan said. Sima Yue touched her nose and did not answer. It should be enough here. They didn't go far out of the city. Sima Yue saw that there was no one here, so she stopped and didn't want to go. The people behind realized at this time that they had been discovered long ago. Boss, Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruabai are also here. I saw it. The boss's face was not very good. Then should we solve it together? These two families seem to be quite big. This is a problem. Boss, who are the people above? We don't know their identity. If we rashly make enemies with these two families, will there be problems? Yes, boss, we just follow you to make a living. If we offend these two families, we probably won't have a foothold in the ghost realm. What are you afraid of? The boss patted them on the shoulder. Look at what this is. A token from the palace? So the people above us are from the palace. Why should we be afraid of two families? Go, clean them up for me. As soon as the boss spoke, all the brothers went up and surrounded Sima Yue. The guards of Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruabai, as well as the personal guards of Sima Yue, jumped out and stood in front of them. Sima Yue looked at them and asked, Who are you? You don't need to know. The boss sneered. Well, you really don't need to know. Because you were hired by someone, and the person who hired you was someone from the palace. Let me guess, the most likely one is Queen Anaheim, right? The boss was also stunned. Were the people above really Anaheim's people? No matter what you say, you can't escape death today. You were lucky last time, but this time it won't be so good. Everyone go. The people protecting Sima Yue also caught up from behind, and the two sides fought. Xiao Ruabai and Gongzi Yuan pulled her away from the battle circle and continued to run to Atavistic Orchid Mountain. Chapter 1775. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. Although these assassins looked a bit unreliable, their strength was not weak. They dragged the City Lord Mansion's people and sent some people to chase after Yue and the others. The three of them did not have many guards with them, but those assassins seemed to be a large organization, at least there were a lot of them. They chased Yue and the others all the way to the foot of Atavistic Orchid Mountain. Miss! The butler rushed out of Atavistic Orchid Mountain with his men. He didn't have time to say anything and went directly. Xiao Ruabai and Gongzi Yuan had fought with those people along the way. They were already exhausted. When they saw the butler and the City Lord Mansion's people, the two sat down directly. You have arranged people here, but you didn't tell us. We were worried to death. We thought we couldn't escape this round. Sima Yue smiled at the two. If you knew earlier, your expressions wouldn't be so real. If they didn't follow, our plan wouldn't be so easy to implement. That's true. After the two rested for a while, they got up from the ground and patted the dust on their bodies. Miss, we will protect you first. The butler suddenly said. What's wrong? Someone else is coming. The butler said. Miss, the person is very strong. Let's go. Mrong Lin, do you think you can still escape today? A wild laughter came from afar, and the butler's face became very ugly. He turned to Sima Yue and the others and said, The person who came is one of Anaheim's generals, Su Kuei. I didn't expect him to come today. It seems that this matter is really done by Anaheim behind. Young master and miss, my miss will be handed over to you. Butler, you don't have the confidence to deal with him, do you? Sima Yue looked at the butler. His strength is above me. The butler said, Miss, you'd better leave quickly. I'll go with you. Sima Yue said, Gongzi Yuan, Ruobai, let your guards protect you and leave. Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai knew the ability of the butler. If even he was not sure, then today would be a hard battle. You don't have any spiritual power, so it's useless for you to stay. Uncle Lin wants you to live. Gongzi Yuan said, let's go together. Sima Yue shook her head. I was the one who caused this, so I have to stay. You can leave first. The butler and I will be fine. Sima Yue said confidently. Xiao Ruobai and Gongzi Yuan were a little hesitant. In the end, Xiao Ruobai said, since you are so sure, then we will stay with you. Can you protect us? Ruobai, although I don't know why, I just believe in you, even though you don't have the strength. Xiao Ruobai said. Isn't it strange? I also find it strange. All right, since all of you are staying, how can I escape alone? Wherever she is, I will be there. Gongzi Yuan also said. Have you thought it through? Ghosts did not have a second life. If you die, you will really die. Sima Yue said. Who doesn't have a time to die? It's just a matter of time. Gongzi Yuan said. Well, you and I are grasshoppers on the same rope. Today we will live and die together. Sima Yue said with a smile. All right, we will live and die together. Xiao Ruobai and Gongzi Yuan both said. Miss. The butlers saw that they really did not intend to leave and shouted anxiously. Butler, don't worry. I said that I won't die here today, so I definitely won't. Sima Yue looked at Murong Lin firmly. You are my father's right-hand man. How can I let my father's arm be cut off? TSK, what a touching friendship. What a confident girl. Su Kuei caught up with them with a group of people and surrounded them in the middle. A tall man walked to the front. His armor was shiny and shiny. His facial features seemed to be squeezed together, which was very unsightly. So ugly. Sima Yue didn't want to look at him. Such an ugly person actually looked like he was the most handsome person in the world. She wanted to throw up last night's meal. But Su Kuei laughed even more happily when he saw her disgusted expression. Murong Shi, I really didn't expect you to be so lucky. You didn't die after falling down the cliff. Those guys are too useless. He said. Well, I will take your life with my own hands. It will be easier to explain to the queen when I go back. I didn't defend the queen. Why does she want to kill me? Sima Yue asked. This sentence was asked for the dead Murong Shi. Blame it on your appearance. Su Kuei said. Your appearance is an eyesore to the queen, so you must die. Then this Anaheim is really an unintelligent woman. Sima Yue curled her lips. If I hate her face, I will only destroy her face and let her look at her face every day in pain. So, your queen is still a little inexperienced. Gongzi Yuan and Xiao Ruobai both laughed. It was estimated that she was the only one in the entire ghost domain who could mock Queen Anaheim like this. Ignorant. When your head is brought to the queen, she will be even happier. Su Kuei sneered. Go, whoever takes Murong Lin's head will be rewarded with a piece of spirit stone. Whoever takes Murong Shi's head will be rewarded with 1,000 crystal stones. Sima Yue curled her lips. Why is my life so worthless? Because your strength is too low. Xiao Ruobai said mercilessly. What a blow. Don't say this kind of truth. It turns out that you understand it yourself. Just when those people were about to make a move, there was a change in the space channel, and a force directly blocked all those people back. Murong Hui's daughter, is she someone you can touch? Murong Hui came out of the space channel and looked at those people angrily. If he came a little later, wouldn't he only see a cold corpse again? Murong Hui. You finally came. I thought you would hide in Eternal Brilliant City and not come out. Su Kuei sneered. So, your ultimate goal is me? Murong Hui caught a different kind of information from his words. No, it's you and your daughter. The queen said, no one will be left alive. That depends on whether you have the ability. Murong Hui was angry, and the wind happened to blow his long hair up, and his momentum was strong. I know, your strength is far beyond mine, but I didn't say that I want to fight with you. Su Kuei's words fell, and two people in cloaks came to the front. Their aura was comparable to Murong Hui's. It seemed that the other party was prepared for him. Murong Hui smiled coldly. Do you think that only you are prepared? Chapter 1776. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. As soon as Murong Hui's words fell, hundreds of people rushed out of the mountains. The aura of these people was obviously different from the guards of Eternal Brilliant City. Duke Murong, did you bring all the masters of the Duke Manor? Su Kuei looked at those people and was not in a hurry. To deal with you, I don't need all of them. A class equals __CF email _ref equals /seed and CGI /L email protection. I'll take you down today, and then I'll settle accounts with Anaheim later. Ha! Just you? You're just a little duke, and you're trying to fight with the queen? You're too whimsical. I'll deal with you first, and then the people behind you. Go. The people on both sides fought together. Murong Hui left a sentence to protect Miss and flew over to fight with the other side. Murong Lin wanted to go up and fight with Su Kuei, but Murong Hui went up. He had to stay and protect Sima Yue, and protect her and Gongzi Yuan to a safe distance. Miss stepped back a little. He actually wanted them to leave first, but seeing that the three of them were not afraid at all, instead, their eyes were shining, the words in his throat changed. Uncle Lin, don't worry, we will take care of ourselves. Gongzi Yuan said. This was the first time Sima Yue saw a large-scale battle in the ghost realm. Compared with the colorful effects in the human realm, the effect of the underworld skills was a piece of black light. She looked at the spiritual skills used by those people, and her hands slowly understood, as if she was learning. You'll have it too. Xiao Ruobai looked at her fingers and said. She didn't have the strength, so naturally, she didn't know these underworld skills. But looking at her focused look, she should want to learn. Sima Yue returned her smile and nodded. Suddenly, her smile disappeared, and her expression became serious. We're in big trouble. She said. What? You have to leave immediately. Sima Yue said, Butler, do you have a temporary teleportation portal? What's wrong with you? Xiao Ruobai and the others didn't understand why her face suddenly changed. There are many powerful people coming over. Sima Yue said, they are very strong, we might not be able to do anything. Steward, take them and leave first. Father and I will be there soon. The people who came were very strong and there were a lot of them. Even if she had little Z and me air, she could not guarantee the safety of Xiao Ruobai and the others. The same thing happened last time. You knew that the divine beast was coming before us. Gongzi Yuan looked at her. How did you know? My senses are a little stronger than yours. Sima Yue said, all right, there's no time now. Hurry up and leave. Miss, it's too late. The butler took out a temporary teleportation array and said after trying it twice. What's wrong? Gongzi Yuan asked. Sima Yue saw that there was no reaction from the teleportation formation in his hand and said in a low voice, someone has sealed this entire space. What? Those people haven't come yet and they've sealed this place? Gongzi Yuan exclaimed. It seems that we really met a big shot this time. Xiao Ruobai said. The two sides who were fighting also noticed this. As those people approached, both sides stopped. It seems that my backup arrived first. Su Kuei smiled proudly. Murong Hui's face was calm. The people who came were so strong, but they didn't seem to be his backup. Father. Sima Yue called and he hurried back to her side. Father, how are you? Sima Yue saw blood on his clothes. Just a little injury. A class equals __CF email __ref equals email protection, I'll think of a way to break through the sealed space. You guys use the teleportation array and leave quickly. What about you? I'll stay and stall them. The people Anaheim wants to deal with this time are you, but the bigger target is me. This has already involved other things. So even if something happens to me today, you don't have to feel guilty. A-class equals __cf email ref equals /cdnci/l/email protection datic female equals E3765 AA215F email protection. Father, I won't let anything happen to you. Sima Yue said affirmatively. Murong Hui touched her head. You're such a good child. Sima Yue called little Z out and waited for those people to arrive. If the other party made a move, she would immediately let little Z kill them. They're here. Murong Hui stared into the distance. A group of black shadows slowly flew over from a distance. When they got a clear look at the leader, everyone was stunned. Not only did Murong Hui's people not expect them to come, but even Su Kuei was stunned. How could it be them? Su Kuei murmured. Sima Yue looked at the people coming and her mouth twitched. Her premonition was really right. When Deja and Mou saw Sima Yue, they were a little stunned. This is really similar to Yu. It's like a mold. Deja muttered. I heard that her mother and Yukuluo are very similar, and she is almost the same as her mother, so she looks like Yue. Mou said. It seems that their resemblance is just the same as Yue. Deja said with emotion. You say, Anaheim wants to kill her because she looks like Yukuluo or Sima Yue. It's possible. I think so too, Deja said, but since I'm here today, I won't let you kill her again. Do you think you can stop me? Mou glanced at him, his words full of contempt. Then try it. After Deja finished speaking, he flew towards Sima Yue. Although Mou didn't move, everyone knew who he was going to help. My goodness, we just talked about the two of them before, I didn't expect to see them today. Xiao Ruabai looked at Mou in a daze. Don't be infatuated. You know how powerful he is. He's going to help the other party kill us now. Gongzi Yuan couldn't stand her and said with a roll of his eyes. Thank you for your help, General D. Murong Hui led his people to salute Deja. Deja's gaze was always on Sima Yue, as if he wanted to dig something out of her. I helped you because I didn't want to see Mou and Anaheim succeed. You don't have to take it to heart. Deja said faintly, his tone didn't put them in his eyes at all. Sima Yue watched him turn around after he finished speaking and rolled her eyes at his back, but she didn't expect him to turn back and catch her red-handed. Sima Yue was stunned, and so was Deja. Then his eyes flashed with ecstasy. He went up and grabbed her arms and said excitedly, you're here, aren't you? Sima Yue's arm hurt from his grip. She grimaced and wanted to break free but couldn't. She anxiously slapped him on the shoulder. As a result, because of the angle of the two, she slapped someone in the face. Pa! The crisp sound was very strange in the quiet battlefield. Everyone was stunned. Xiao Ruabai and Gongzi Yuan looked at her in horror. They thought, it's over. We've provoked the killing god. Chapter 1777. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. The scene was quiet for 2 seconds. The people present were waiting for Deja to flip out, and the people on the opposite side wanted to watch the fun. Didn't you, Deja, want to save her? Now that she hit you in public, will you still save her? Who in the ghost realm didn't know that Deja was famous for his violent temper? As long as you provoked him, few could survive. Back then, there was a princess who had accidentally offended him, and that princess was even his own cousin. He had also killed her, carried her corpse to the palace, and threw it in front of the concubine. Another time, when someone provoked him, he directly brought people to destroy the entire family, and no one in the family was left alive. From then on, whether it was the royal family or others, they would not provoke him, this killing god. Now, these people looked at Sima Yue with ridicule in their eyes. This plot was really a reversal. Xiao Ruobai stood beside Sima Yue, and her legs were weak with fright. However, the bloody scene they expected did not appear. Deja was like a different person this time. He was not angry at all after being slapped, and he still held her shoulder tightly. "Cousin, you hurt me," Sima Yue said. "It's really you." Deja got the answer he wanted and was very happy. Seeing her slightly frown, he let go of her. "Cousin, there are a lot of people here," Sima Yue reminded. "I know." Deja smiled and said, "Don't worry, I will protect you." "It's good that you don't cause trouble," Sima Yue said. "If the Anaheim knows that I came to the ghost realm, I will be in trouble later." "How am I causing trouble? It's enough to kill those Anaheim people. Mou is a little more troublesome, I can't beat him," Deja said. "But even if Anaheim knows, I will find a way to protect you." "Yes, General D." Sima Yue stared at him. "You should solve this problem first." "All right. Let's solve the problem here first, and then I have a lot of questions to ask you." After Deja finished, he grabbed her hand and brought her to his side. Xiao Ruobai and the others' eyes widened as they looked at the gentle Deja in disbelief. I'm not mistaken, am I?" Xiao Ruobai rubbed her eyes, her face full of shock. Gongzi Yuan also twitched his mouth. "Is this really General D? It couldn't have been switched, right?" Muronghui was not too worried because he knew Deja's feelings for Yukoluo, so he would not do anything to Sima Yue. But what surprised him was that he and Sima Yue seemed to have known each other for a long time, and their relationship was very good. Where they stood, Deja just happened to have his back to everyone, but he could see clearly. Deja looked at Sima Yue with eyes full of love. With Deja, Sima Yue's life should be saved, but Mou on the opposite side was really a headache. Sima Yue stood beside Deja, wanting to see how he would solve this problem. She was very clear about Mou's ability, he naturally could not beat him. But she wanted to see what he would do. "Mou, I will protect her today, what do you say?" Deja raised his chin and looked at Mou. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This was his way of solving the problem? She thought he had some good ideas. Mou stared at Sima Yue for a while. No one could tell whether he was happy or angry. The people present did not dare to speak, they just looked at him. Su Kuei saw that Mou did not speak. He was worried that this person who did not play by the rules would make a bad decision. "Master Mou, the queen said that we must bring back the heads of Murong Shi and Murong Hui." He reminded, "This is your deal with the queen." Mou heard this and his face sank. It was obvious that he was a little angry. Su Kuei subconsciously took a step back, but he still mustered up his courage and said, "The queen said that after this matter is over, she will not trouble Master Mou in the future. I know the matter between me and her better than you." Mou said faintly, "Isn't it just killing a person?" Murong Hui looked at him with eyes full of killing intent and said to Deja, "General D, please take my daughter out." "Duke Murong, what do you want to do?" "Master Mou's strength is unfathomable. I will try my best to delay a little. A class equals __CF email _ ref equals /CDNCGI/L/ email protection datic female equals E7368722C52 email protected. In the future, please take care of my daughter. Father. Sima Yue went over and took his hand. "Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you." Deja looked at her like this and wanted to say that in fact he was not as confident as she was. Murong Hui looked at Sima Yue dotingly. At this time he really regarded her as his daughter from the bottom of his heart, not just Yukoluo's daughter. "Good child, father already knows your intentions. But now it's important to escape. If you live well, father will be happy." Sima Yue did not say much to him. She turned to look at Mou and asked, "You want to kill us?" "Anaheim wants to kill you," Mou said. "Is it important?" She asked again. "It depends on the situation." "Oh." When the others heard the conversation between the two, they felt as if there was a crow flying over their heads. Xiao Ruobai and Gongzi Yuan were even more speechless. Although they admired Sima Yue's courage to face Mou without changing her expression, but at this time, she could still say this. "Mou, are you really going to do it?" Dija stood in front of Sima Yue, took out his weapon, and was ready to fight. Sima Yue poked her head out from behind him and looked at Mou. The people on Su Kuei's side also looked at Mou and the guards behind him. The strongest team here was the people behind him. As long as he sided with one side, the other side would lose. Lord Mou, Su Kuei shouted with uncertainty. Alas. Mou sighed, let's do it. The guards behind him received his order and all of them attacked Dija and the others. It's over, we're probably going to die here today. Everyone was screaming in their hearts, hoping that Dija's people could resist. But everyone knew that Dija's people couldn't beat Mou's people, but they still hoped for a miracle. Miracle, miracle. They prayed in their hearts, and then a miracle appeared. At the moment when the two sides were about to fight, a more depressed sigh reached their ears. Idiot, you're wrong. They had never felt that Mou's words would be so pleasant to the ears. This was really the sound of nature. The guards were only stunned for a moment before they immediately changed their target and attacked Su Kuei's group. When Su Kuei saw Mou's people attacking Dija's side, a smug smile appeared on his face. But in the blink of an eye, he was slapped in the face, and his pride was replaced by panic. What was going on? Not only did they not understand, but Murong Hui and the others also did not understand, but this was a good thing. Especially when Mou added another sentence, leave no one alive. Chapter 1778. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. Leave no one alive, everyone's heart trembled. Lord Mou was really ruthless. Lord Mou, why? Su Kuei didn't know how this change came about. Didn't they say they were going to deal with Dija's people? How did it become killing them? Before they could answer, they were killed by Mou's people. Mou's people were fast and accurate. Su Kuei's people fell one by one. Many people didn't understand why they died. Even if he didn't intend to help Anaheim, he shouldn't have helped Murong Hui kill them. Xiao Ruobai looked at the battlefield opposite and asked in a daze, are we seeing things? Lord Mou is helping us? It should be. Gongzi Yuan said, I just don't know why. They turned their eyes to Murong Hui and Dija. The two of them were also puzzled. It seemed that they didn't know either. At this time, Mou flew towards them and came to the front of the crowd. To be exact, he came to Sima Yue and said with a little dissatisfaction, why didn't you come to me when you came? Sima Yue smiled, I thought you didn't recognize me. Everyone was confused. Mou and Sima Yue actually knew each other? He killed Anaheim's people for her? Didn't he want to kill her? Xiao Ruobai and Gongzi Yuan were even more frightened. She had such a good relationship with Mou. One Dija, one Mou, they were actually helping her. No wonder she said the two of them were very good. This was really good to her. No one dares to look at me like this except you. Mou said, I'll take it as a compliment. Sima Yue said with a smile. Don't be happy too early. You really did what you said when you came to the ghost realm without looking for me. Mou snorted, no, I left a mark on you. I should have sensed it when you came to the ghost realm. Suddenly, his face changed slightly. How did you? Let's talk about this later. Sima Yue interrupted him. Everyone was stunned. She actually dared to interrupt Lord Mou's words, and Lord Mou actually wasn't angry? Dija was not happy. When did you two meet? I'll tell you later, let's settle this first. Sima Yue said, Mou, you killed Anaheim's men, what if Anaheim gets angry? He's already dead. How would she know that I killed him? Mou smiled faintly. Besides, when do I need to look at her face? How domineering. Everyone sighed inwardly. TSK, Dija rolled his eyes. Didn't he want to kill Murong Shi because of Anaheim? Although they did not know how Sima Yue became Murong Shi, it should be related to this matter. Soon, the battle over there ended. To be exact, it was a one-sided slaughter. None of Anaheim's men were left alive, and none of Mou's men were injured. Master! The guards came over and knelt down to accept their punishment. Even Master's thoughts were wrong. How would Master punish them this time? But they really couldn't be blamed. Master's thoughts were too different from before. Even they did not think of what happened to Master. Embarrassing, get lost. You did not even want to look at them. Those people were also obedient and left immediately. But Sima Yue felt that these people definitely did not leave far. Let's find a place to talk. Mou said, as if he did not allow a group of people to come over. Deja pulled Sima Yue's hand and looked at him. Where are you bringing you? She urged. What do you care? Mou raised his eyes slightly, not putting Deja in his eyes. I'm her cousin. What do you think I care? Deja raised his chin and said proudly. You win. Mou knew about the relationship between Deja and Sima Yue. When they were drinking tea and chatting before, they had talked about Deja. This was also the reason why he was so patient with Deja. Okay, you two stop quarreling. Sima Yue said. I have to go back with father. There are still some follow-up matters to deal with. You either go back with me or go play by yourself. Go play by yourself, go play by yourself, everyone. Xiao Ruabai looked at her with admiration. You are the first person in the ghost realm to be able to talk to the two killing gods of the ghost realm like this. Mou and Deja looked at each other and said in unison. Then let's go together. So, the dizzy group of people went back home. Deja's people were the same as Mou's people. They were driven away by him, so there were two more people on the return trip. Half a day later, Xiao Ruabai and Gong Ziyuan looked at the three people drinking tea by the lake, full of emotion. A few days ago, when they were drinking tea there, they talked about the two killing gods of the ghost realm. At that time, she said that she knew the two of them, but they didn't take it to heart. Only a few days later, she was here drinking tea with the two killing gods. Amazing! It seems that Er's origin is more powerful than we thought. Xiao Ruabai said with emotion. Seeing Gong Ziyuan in a daze, she poked him with her elbow. What are you thinking about? Gong Ziyuan was poked by her and came back to his senses. I'm thinking about her identity. Since she is not and looks so similar, I thought of a possibility that we have never thought of. You mean? Xiao Ruabai's eyes widened. It can't be? How could she be? Gong Ziyuan glanced at her faintly. Actually, you think so too, right? Apart from that identity, who else can look so similar to the Dark Princess? Who can get the favor of General D? But, isn't it said that the daughter of the Dark Princess is in the human realm? Xiao Ruabai felt that this idea was a bit scary. If she was really the daughter of the Dark Princess, then wasn't she the granddaughter of the Ghost King? Moreover, with her current identity, there was no need to mention how awkward and dangerous it was for her to be in the ghost realm. Gong Ziyuan shrugged. They didn't know the reason for this. No matter what her identity is, she is the person we recognize, isn't she? He said. Look at General D and Lord Mou. I advise you to put away your little thoughts. If they know, I don't know what will happen. Xiao Ruabai reminded. A trace of loss flashed in Gong Ziyuan's eyes. He said faintly, I didn't think of anything. I just treat her as a friend. That's the best. Xiao Ruabai snorted. Otherwise, don't blame me for not reminding you if something happens. I know. Gong Ziyuan said and turned to leave. Xiao Ruabai sighed and followed. In the pavilion, Sima Yue made a cup of tea for each of them. Mou was obviously in a good mood after drinking the long-lost tea. Deja was not very interested in tea. After taking a sip, he put it down and asked, When did you come to the ghost realm? Why didn't you contact me? Mou also looked at her and said something that shocked Deja. How did you die? Chapter 1779. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web no pop-up window. Free to read. How did she die? Deja grabbed Sima Yue's hand. You're dead. Of course she's dead. Mou said, I left a trace of my consciousness in her body. As long as she comes to the ghost realm, I will know. Now that she's been here for so long, I don't know. If she's not dead, what is she? But a dead soul won't have any memories. Yue, you're not dead, right? Deja did not believe it. Actually, yes and no. Sima Yue said. What's going on? Deja asked. I met with something in the ghost realm and died. My spirit left my body. But I was saved by someone. But my spirit and body have been separated, so my body can't wake up and I can't go back. If you want to talk about it, I'm considered a ghost. Sima Yue said. So you're saying that you're a spirit? Sima Yue returned to her spirit form. Her body was transparent and could not be caught. Then she condensed her body and returned to her usual appearance. Seeing the doubt in their eyes, she smiled. I met with some luck before, so I can condense my body without using my spirit power. Who killed you? I'll take revenge for you. Deja saw her smile and felt his heart ache. Myself. Sima Yue said. What? Deja looked at her with a complicated gaze. How could you be so stupid to kill yourself? Even Mou had the same expression in his eyes. You're amazing to be able to kill yourself. Cough cough. Sima Yue looked at the two of them and explained softly, you can't blame me for this. I didn't want to do it. Refill the tea, we'll listen to how you did it. Mou placed the teacup in front of her. Sima Yue, she refilled the tea for the two of them, then told them about her body and the sage pavilion. Still stupid. Mou commented. Why are you so stupid? Deja looked very disappointed. You killed yourself for someone else. There won't be any more tea if you two continue. Sima Yue threatened. Deja wasn't a big fan of tea. Mou felt threatened and changed the topic. Then how did you become Murongxi's? It was a coincidence. Sima Yue sighed. The real Murongxi was killed by those people. It just so happened that when she was being hunted down, I also came to the ghost realm to try my luck. Then we met at Atavistic Orchid Mountain. We were both hunted down and fell off the cliff together. She died and I was brought back by father. I became her. She actually caused you to fall off the cliff? Deja punched the stone table. This Anaheim, I really want to kill her more and more. As he spoke, he looked at Mou and said, It's all your fault. Sima Yue looked at Mou. Did you send those people? Wu Kue looked for them. But he didn't stop them. Deja snorted. This guy was so attentive to Yue. He liked the tea she made, so he wanted to give her some eye drops. Who asked you to be so stupid to kill yourself, and just happened to go to that place at this time? Mou said. Sima Yue was speechless. In the end, it became her fault. Wait for 2 days and go back with me. Deja said, I'll go back and give you a good supplement. You'll be able to improve your strength soon. I can't go with you now. Sima Yue refused. You're not on good terms with Anaheim now, and you're a public figure. You'll definitely be watched by a lot of people. If I go with you, it won't take a few days for people to know that I came to the ghost realm. She explained, You know how much Anaheim wants to kill me to avenge you. I don't have the strength now. If she knows, there'll be a lot of trouble. I can protect you too. She said. But in order to save Mother safely, it's better that we don't let Anaheim know. Sima Yue said. Actually, as long as the Ghost King acknowledges you, you don't have to worry about Anaheim. Mou reminded her that he still had a grandfather. The Ghost King used to love Mother a lot, but didn't he also suppress her to the abyss of hell? Sima Yue pursed her lips. I don't believe that he will acknowledge me. She didn't have a good impression of the Ghost King. She even hated him. He was the one who personally captured her mother and suppressed her to the abyss of hell. Thinking of this, she was filled with hatred. Grandfather actually still loves Aunt. Deja said, It's just that sometimes he can't help it. Sima Yue looked at him. That's not what you said the last time we met in the Immortal Land. At that time, he also resented the Ghost King. I found out some things. Deja said, Grandfather did this to protect Aunt. Protect? I think he's just using protection as an excuse to protect his own face. Sima Yue snorted. If we didn't suppress Aunt, she might have already died. Deja said, Mou knew the situation at that time. Sima Yue looked at Mou and he nodded. That's true. If we didn't agree to suppress your mother, she wouldn't have been able to escape. So, many people are pressuring him? Many people want my mother to die? Her words were cold. Who dared to bully her mother? She would definitely let them know why the flowers were so red. Don't be rash. Dija saw Sima Yoyue's reaction and was really afraid that she would run off to take revenge. Someone who can make the Ghost King hesitate is definitely not someone to be trifled with. Before I have the ability, I won't do anything stupid. I'm not stupid, Sima Yue said, but after I save my mother? At that time, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This temper of yours. Dija was speechless. Remember to bring me along when the time comes. But Sima Yue replied, tell me first, who are the people? Is he involved? She looked at Mou if he was. Yes, she couldn't beat him now, but she could cut ties with him and not give him tea leaves. She would deal with him when she had the ability in the future. Dija wanted to say something more, but seeing that he didn't panic at all, he didn't have the mood to do so. There was no sense of accomplishment. This guy didn't pressure him, but he just watched from the side and didn't help. However, if he was involved at that time, I'm afraid that even if grandfather wanted to suppress Aunt, she wouldn't have been able to escape. He snorted. Mou raised his eyebrows. He thought that this guy would hit him when he was down. He didn't expect him to be fair. All right, it's good that he didn't hit me when I was down. Sima Yue said as she took out a few emerald green tea leaves. I only have these tea leaves now. Mou smiled and opened each of the tea leaves to take a sniff. Her tea leaves were still the most fragrant. He had already drunk all the tea leaves he brought back previously. Later on, there were people who gave him tea leaves from the human world as a tribute, but none of them could compare to her tea leaves. Now tell me, who were the people who wanted to kill my mother? Chapter 1780. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book web no pop-up window. Free to read. Sima Yue looked at the two of them, waiting for their answer. It's better if you don't know about this for now. If you meet someone from the human world and can't control your anger, it will be troublesome if someone notices. He said. Sima Yue glanced at him. If you can control your temper, why can't I? Dija, he seemed to have suffered 10,000 points of damage. Mou chuckled at the side. Alright, speak. Sima Yue said. You know we have many dynasties. After so many years, some of them have developed very strong. Then some of them joined forces. Dija then said a bunch of dynasty names. Sima Yue remembered them all. Why do these people want to kill my mother? Aunt's talent is outstanding, and she has some conflicts with those people. Her talent is envied by others. Those people also want to see the royal family fall, so they naturally don't want to have such a talented descendant. Only when the royal family falls, those dynasties can become stronger. Dija explained, since you don't want others to know your identity, it's best if they don't know your talent. Otherwise, you won't be able to grow. I know. Sima Yue nodded. You plan to stay here and cultivate? Mou asked. Not necessarily, but I want to continue to appear as Murongshi. At least, before I have strength, this identity is a good cover. Then we'll leave more people to protect you, Dija said worriedly. No need. Since I'm just the daughter of a small duke, not many people will notice me. You'll only make people suspicious. As long as I don't meet an old guy like Mou, I can handle most situations. You? The strength of an underworld fiend master? My strength isn't high, but I have Little Purple. Who is Little Purple? Sima Yue called Little Purple out. When Little Purple saw Dija and Mou, it meowed at them. A kitten? Dija asked. You want it to protect you just because it doesn't have any spiritual energy? Little Z was despised and unhappy. Therefore, someone was in trouble. Meow, pa. A bolt of lightning landed on Dija, instantly striking him until he was charred on the outside and tender on the inside. Sima Yue, Mou, Little Purple retracted her claws. If you say that again, I'll chop you into jerky. Cough cough. Dija coughed twice and spat out a mouthful of black smoke. What are you? It can even release lightning? Little Z gave him a slap on the butt. You should be glad that little Z still remembers you. Otherwise, she wouldn't be like this today. Sima Yue said. Purple top grade heavenly thunder? Mou looked at little Z, his tone uncertain. Pumph. Little Z swung her butt again. Little Z knew you before she transformed in my body. We spent a long time together, so she has a deep impression of you. She only used less than half of her power. If she used all of her power, Sima Yue said. She didn't directly answer little Z's identity, but it was an indirect admission. I didn't expect you to be able to absorb the purple top-grade heavenly thunder into your body and make it transform successfully. This may be the first purple top-grade heavenly thunder in history. With her, you don't have to worry if you don't meet someone like me. Mou said. Is it that powerful? Deja heard Mou say so he looked at little Z with less suspicion and more doubt. The purple top-grade heavenly thunder is of a higher grade than the thunder punishment in heaven. Although you were struck like this because you didn't have any defense, you can't resist its attack even if you use all of your power. Mou said. It's that powerful? Deja was stunned. Such a kitten couldn't even defeat him? Of course, one of the important reasons is that thunder and lightning have a natural restraint on the Ghost Clan. It strengthens its power. If you were a human with your strength, you might be able to hold on for a while. Mou said. Deja, why did he feel that he was hurt so much today? Since you've decided, then let's do it. He knew her temperament. Since she told them so firmly, she had already made up her mind and wouldn't change it. In order not to attract attention, the two of them didn't stay long in the city lord's residence before they were chased away by Sima Yue. She also ordered them not to send people to protect her secretly. However, it was okay to protect her openly. Why? Deja didn't understand. Wasn't it the same? It's because I look like my mother. You have a good relationship with my mother, so it's normal that you help me because of my appearance. Just like this time. However, because it's just a resemblance, there are no feelings, so this boundary can't be crossed. If you send someone to protect me in private, it's too unreasonable. Sima Yue explained. That's true. Then I'll let paying protect you more. They said. Sima Yue knew that Wang Ye, where she was now, was the person who followed Murong Hui. Murong Hui was very loyal to Pei. Pei also valued him very much. Otherwise, she wouldn't let him come to Eternal Brilliance City to be the city lord and look for the legendary treasure of atavistic Orchid Mountain. However, although Pei valued Murong Hui and treated Murong Shi very well, with Deja's instructions, she would be more attentive. Mou was relatively simple. When he left, he only said one sentence, "You know what to do, right?" Sima Yue nodded. When she was in danger, she could use the underworld skills that Mou taught her before to show that she was the person he was protecting. How many people in the ghost realm dared to touch his people? And those who were not afraid of him would also give him some face. Seeing her nod, Mou's eyes had a faint smile. When the tea leaves are gone, I will come to you. Sima Yue nodded. He was very sure that she had her own secrets. But he didn't intend to delve into her secrets, as long as there were tea leaves. And Sima Yue knew this, so she wasn't worried. After sending the two away, Murong Hui entered her courtyard. Both of them have left? Sima Yue nodded and then asked, Father, do you want to drink tea? Murong Hui walked into the pavilion and saw her putting away the teacups that Deja and Mou had used, made tea for him, and put it in front of him. I thought you would leave with them. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdncgi/l/ email protection datic female equals FA 2775 BA 314F email protected. I'm Father's goddaughter. I want to follow Father for a while. Will you drive me away? Sima Yue asked with a smile. Silly child, you can follow Father for as long as you want. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdncgi/l/ email protection datic female equals CF 12408F047 email protected. Even if I have to risk my life, I will protect your safety. Then if I get into trouble, will father help me deal with the aftermath? Anyway, I'm used to doing these things. A class equals underscore underscore cf underscore email underscore underscore ref equals slash seed and cgi slash l slash email protection datic female equals 37ab 877 e791 email protected. However, judging from this incident, it may be more dangerous for you to follow father. Chapter 1781. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book web no pop-up window. Free to read. This time, they all thought that it was done by some county, city or family who had a grudge against them, but they never thought that it was actually someone sent by the Anaheim. Zhu Ying was not on the same side as the Anaheim. If she did not use them, she naturally wanted to eradicate them. If she couldn't touch him, she would touch the people around him. In addition, he had a daughter who looked so similar to Yu Kaluo, so she naturally started from him. This was even more troublesome when political factors were mixed in. Especially this time, not only did the Anaheim not succeed, but the people sent were also killed. This would definitely attract the attention of the Anaheim and they would send more people over. Therefore, even if she stayed by Murong Hui's side, she would face a lot of danger. With father here, I'm not afraid. Sima Yue smiled. A class equals underscore underscore cf underscore email underscore underscore ref equals slash seed and cgi slash l slash email protection email protected. Guess some of the reasons why she didn't leave. There was danger left and right. Compared to her awkward identity, it was better to continue using Murong Shi's identity. In that case, from now on, we will be a father and daughter who depend on each other. He sighed. I will need father's protection in the future. The two looked at each other and smiled. There was a kind of affection between them that began to ferment. How did you and the two lords meet? If it weren't for them this time, we don't know what would have happened. We met when we were in the human world. Deja is my cousin and has a good relationship with my mother. We met in the immortal land and he naturally loves me very much. Because Mou likes tea, he pestered me to discuss the tea art. Then we became familiar with each other. Sima Yue said. Now that they know your identity, I'm not so worried. Murong Hui felt that the pressure before was really great. He was afraid that something would happen to her. Now that Deja and Mou were in front of him, he was much more relaxed. At least, their strength was not comparable to his. Father, I'll be safer if I use she/her's identity. You don't have to worry too much. I will cultivate well, save mother and protect you. Sima Yue said. What? You want to go? Murong Hui exclaimed, and he managed to restrain himself from saying the following words. Sima Yue nodded. My mother is imprisoned in the abyss of hell. As her daughter, I can't watch her suffer. I wanted to come here when I was in the human realm. Now that I'm in the ghost realm, it's even more impossible to give up. But, Father, I won't act on impulse. I won't do anything stupid before I have the strength. Sima Yue smiled. Don't treat me as my mother's daughter, just treat me as she is. As for my identity, I don't think it will cause any trouble in the short term. All right. I'll try to keep myself calm. A class equals underscore underscore cf underscore email underscore underscore ref equals slash seed and cgi slash l slash email protection datic female equals E83567A8235D. Email protected. If you have nothing else to do, pack up. When the new city lord comes, we will leave here. Are we going back to the county? Yes. The things here are almost done. There are city and county competitions later, and we need to go back to preside over them. A class equals underscore underscore cf underscore email underscore underscore ref equals slash seed and cgi slash l slash email protection datic female equals 994416D94A3F. Email protected. What he didn't say was that Deng Ying also sent a message over asking him to go back. Someone else would be sent over for the atavistic Orchid Mountain. If Sima Yue knew, she would probably whisper that the treasure had already been obtained by her. How long will it take? She asked. We should be able to arrive in 10 days. Then take a few days to hand over. We will set off in about half a month. So fast. Sima Yue was a little surprised. Even if he wanted to go back, it shouldn't be so fast, right? There are a few other things. A-class equals __cf_email__ref equals /seed/cgi/l/email protection datic female equals A27F2 to 26,119 email protected was going to say more. It seemed to be something secret. Seeing the housekeeper come in, she said, "You are ready, we may leave in advance." Then she went out with the housekeeper. Sima Yue watched him leave, then poured tea for herself and slowly tasted it. Because they were preparing to leave, the entire city lord's mansion had been bustling recently. There was an endless stream of people coming, but they were all looking for Murong Hui. Sima Yue was cultivating in her yard. Her main focus now was to practice the soul refining art and cultivate her soul body. Only by cultivating her soul body could she unlock the seal and receive the power of the old ancestor's seal. 10 days later, Ting Shan knocked on the door outside and said that Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan had come. She stopped cultivating and opened the door to go out. Xiao Ruobai and Gong Ziyuan were waiting in the living room. When they saw Sima Yue, they were stunned. "We haven't seen each other for only 10 days. Why do you feel different?" Xiao Ruobai said in surprise. "Am I?" Sima Yue looked down at herself. "There's nothing different." In fact, she knew that her body looked more real and had more breath of life. It was not as simple as why the old ancestor condensed her body. This was all thanks to the soul refining art. "Why are you two here today?" She changed the topic and did not let them pursue this issue anymore. "We are here to say goodbye," Gong Ziyuan said with some disappointment. "Goodbye? Are you leaving?" Sima Yue was a little surprised. "Aren't you going to investigate the atavistic Orchid Mountain? In fact, both of our families have asked us to go back a long time ago. They asked us to go back and prepare for the region competition," Xiao Ruobai said. "Fortunately, we delayed for a while, otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to meet you. The youth exchange had just ended. There would be a city competition next year, and the region competition the year after that. As the genius younger generation of their families, they naturally had to go back early to prepare. Then we will see each other the year after next," Sima Yue said. "I'm fine. I'm just going back to the prefecture. When you go back, we can meet again," Xiao Ruobai said. "You are also in the prefecture? Then it won't be long before we meet." Sima Yue smiled. "You are going back too?" Xiao Ruobai was startled and then reacted. "Yes, your father is the prefecture king. He must go back to preside. When are you leaving?" "My father will be back in 2 days. I was going to leave after saying goodbye to you. Since you are going back, I will go with you," Xiao Ruobai said. "I just don't know if it is convenient. Since we are all going back, it should be fine. Ting Shan, go and tell father and ask if it is okay," Sima Yue ordered. Yes, Mississippi Ting Shan, who was guarding the door, took the order and left. After a while, she came back and said that Murong Hui agreed. "Then it's settled. We will go with you. When you leave, just let us know. We are ready at any time," Xiao Ruobai said with a smile. "That's great. You two can go together. I have to go alone," Gong Ziyuan sighed. "Little Yuan, you have to work hard. When the region competition the year after next, I want to see if you can beat me. Don't worry, I will make you look at me differently." Sima Yue smiled and said nothing. At this time, they did not expect that the person who would make people look at her differently would be her. Chapter 1782. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web no pop-up window. Free to read. 5 days later, Murong Hui brought Sima Yue and the Xiao family back to Vast City. Vast City was the capital of Vast Region. Just like the provincial capital on Earth, it was the political center of a region. Vast City was vast. In addition to the Duke Manor, there were many big families, and the Xiao family was one of them. After rushing for so many days, Everyone was a little tired. Xiao Ruobai and Sima Yue made an appointment and went home. Murong Hui returned to the Duke Manor with Sima Yue. Seeing the empty gate, he was furious. Who tore down the gate? He asked angrily. The guards at the gate saw Murong Hui coming back and was so angry that they knelt down one after another. Many people ran out of the gate and knelt down when they saw this. Reporting to the Duke, this gate was torn down by General D. The second butler said while kneeling. General D? Murong Hui frowned. Since he broke it, why didn't he replace it? We replaced it several times, but it was all torn down. What happened? Previously, Lord Mou and General D both came here. Lord Mou lived in the Duke Manor, and then the two seemed to have a conflict. General D often came to the Duke Manor to vent his anger. Later, Lord Mou closed the gate. Every time Great General D came, he would destroy a door. The last time, Lord Mou said that he didn't want to fix the gate, so it was empty. Later, Lord Mou left and didn't say when he would come back, so. After the butler explained, everyone finally knew the cause and effect. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. These two guys even tore down the gate. Why didn't they go to heaven? Murong Hui looked at her, and she said helplessly, "Fix the gate, they won't come back." Then fix it. After Murong Hui finished speaking, he took Sima Yue back. The people kneeling on the ground were a little surprised. How could the Duke ask for Miss's opinion? Also, Miss seemed to be very different from before. The housekeeper brought some people and hurriedly followed them in. The guards guarded the door well while the others went to find the prepared door to change. This is the front yard, where father handles official business. When you were young, you often came here to play. Every time I asked you to go back, you would cry. There is a lake over there. You used to like to play on the lake, so there is a lake in our place. Over there is. Murong Hui introduced Sima Yue as he walked. The second steward and the others were shocked when they heard this. Why did it feel like the royal prince was showing a stranger around? Old Lin, what's going on? He pulled Murong Lin and asked in surprise. Last time, Miss was being hunted down, fell off a cliff, and lost her memory. She doesn't remember the past. Master is taking her to familiarize herself with this place. Murong Lin replied. Sima Yue was not Murong Shi's matter. Murong Hui and Sima Yue had discussed it before. The less people knew about this matter, the better. So he was told not to tell anyone. The second steward was shocked and exclaimed, "Eldest Miss lost her memory? Don't talk about the past in front of eldest Mississippi. Although she is very different after losing her memory, let the past be the past." Murong Lin said. Miss does look very different, even her momentum has changed. The second steward said. She used to be arrogant and domineering, but now she looks quieter and more calm and confident, as if she has been reborn. After experiencing so many things, there will definitely be changes. Murong Lin sighed. At the same time, he also felt infinite emotions in his heart. If the Real Miss could be as good as her, the master would have worried a lot less before, and maybe she would not have ended up being hunted to death. Although the second steward was very curious about Murong Shi being hunted down, he did not continue to ask when he saw that Murong Lin did not intend to talk about it. Anyway, these things he would know when he asked the servants. Murong Hui sent Sima Yue to Murong Shi's former courtyard, and told her about the layout of the house so that she could understand it. Father will probably be busy in the future. If you want to be familiar with the house and the city, ask Ting Shan and Ting Shui. If there is anything, find a few stewards. If you still can't solve it, come to me. Murong Hui explained before leaving. I know, father. Sima Yue nodded and sent him away. Ting Shan and Ting Shui ordered the maids to move Sima Yue's things in, which were actually Murong Shi's previous things. Since she had inherited her identity, she had to bring these things back with her. Ting Shan and Ting Shui served Murong Shi before, and those things were arranged completely according to Murong Shi's style. After Sima Yue saw it, she felt that it was too luxurious and showing off her wealth. She put away all those things and packed them into the warehouse. In the following time, Murong Hui was really busy. Sima Yue did not see him for several days. Especially the cultivators did not need to rest, and the people in and out of the city lord mansion did not stop day and night. When Sima Yue first found out, she thought that it was just because he had just returned to the county and had to manage the entire county's affairs, so he was busy. But later, she found that these people were not simple, and some were even mysterious. Thinking of him suddenly coming back, she felt that things were not so simple. She spent a day to understand the situation here, and then learned about Murong Shi's previous life. Hearing Ting Shan and Ting Shui's description, Sima Yue could not help but hold her forehead. Corruption and luxury were her normal state. Flirting with beautiful men was a necessity of life. Being arrogant was her style, and Gui Jianchou was the impression she gave others. In short, if it weren't for her father and mother who had a strong background, she would basically be like a rat on the street who was hated by everyone. I can only say that fortunately, I have a good background. Sima Yue sighed. Is my father still busy? This servant went out just now, and when I came back, I saw him bringing someone to master's study. Ting Shui replied. Father is too busy, she said with some heartache. But I can't help much. Anyway, there's nothing to do at home, so I'll go shopping. After saying that, she planned to leave, and it seemed that she did not intend to bring anyone with her. Miss, let us servants go with you, Ting Shan said. You don't remember the things outside. If we go out with you, we can also introduce the situation outside to you. Sima Yue thought for a while and nodded in agreement. If she went out by herself, she would just be strolling around. With them, she could also introduce the situation outside. Thus, she brought Ting Shan and Ting Shui out. When the guard captain saw her go out, he waved his hand and ordered a guard, go and inform the head butler that Miss has gone out. Should we send people to protect her like before? Sima Yue did not go far, but the guard's words still reached her ears. Her mouth twitched, and she quickened her pace to leave. Chapter 1783. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, web, no pop-up window. Free to read. Sima Yue swaggered along the street. When people saw her along the way, they avoided her as if they had seen a plague. Especially those men, it was not an exaggeration to describe them as fleeing in panic. She walked all the way and found that it was the same situation. She turned to look at Ting Shan and Ting Shui and asked, Was it the same situation when I came out before? Ting Shui replied. Am I scarier now? She was speechless. Those people didn't run in the past, but now they ran. In the past, we all came out with guards. Some people ran away, and you let the guards teach them a lesson. Later, when everyone saw that you had guards around you, they didn't dare to run. Ting Shan explained. A group of guards who helped the tyrant. If it was always like this, then how could she go shopping today? She walked aimlessly, thinking that it was not good to go shopping like this. She would be looked at like a monkey on the street. Seeing a house like a tea house next to her, she raised her foot and wanted to go in. Miss. Ting Shan and Ting Shui ran over and pulled her. Miss, you can't go in here. Sima Yue came back to her senses and saw that the people around her looked at her differently. They were not as afraid as before, but with some interest and expectation. Ting Shan and Ting Shui looked at her with fear. What's wrong? Why can't I go in here? She asked curiously. Miss, you were thrown out here before. Ting Shan said, Since then, you are not allowed to go in here. You will be thrown out every time you enter. Sima Yue was surprised. Isn't it a tea house? Why can't I go in? Well, because you once flirted with the young master from the king's city? Sima Yue. She actually dared to flirt with the young master from the king's city. No wonder even Murong Hui could only let her avoid it. Miss, if you are tired, let's go to another place to rest. Ting Shan was afraid that Sima Yue would rush in again and grabbed her hand to prevent her from doing stupid things. Sima Yue, she sighed and said, Let's go take a look at the shop next door. Okay. Ting Shan and Ting Shui hurriedly took her away, afraid that she would regret it in the next second. The onlookers were all shocked, as if they didn't recognize her. Is this really Gui Jianchou? I don't think so. Did Ghost's grimace leave just like that? But look at her, she is indeed Gui Jianqiu. Why do you look like a completely different person? That was too quiet, too easy to talk to. I thought she would teach her maidservant a lesson. I heard that Gui Jianqiu was hunted down in Yongming City and almost died after falling off a cliff. Later on, the regional king saved his life, but his brain was injured and he lost his memories. Really? Of course it's real. This news came from the Duke's mansion. How could it be fake? That seems to be the case. Demon's grimace seems to have changed. Memory loss can change a person's personality? Whether it has changed or not, it can't be seen for a while. Maybe she's just pretending to deceive us. Then why don't we follow and see? Okay. So, many people followed Sima Yuiwei to the opposite shop. On the second floor of the tea house, in a private room facing the street, a handsome man in white heard the words below, and his white hand took a sip of the teacup. Gui Jianqiu will change? Yuan Yan, do you believe it? He chuckled. She will change? Even a sow can fly to heaven. The male lead opposite him was as handsome as him, but his words were much coarser, and it could be seen that his temper was also irritable. When he spoke of Murong Shi, his eyes were full of disgust. I'm really curious, what did she do to you to make you hate her so much? The man in white put down the teacup and looked at him with a smile. Emoji, you are so close to Lord Mou, why don't you help me kill her? Anyway, with Lord Mou here, those people won't dare to touch you. How about it? Yuan Yan looked at him expectantly. The man called Emoji smiled. How old are you? Do you still need others to wipe your ass? So annoying. I heard that she was not in Liao City, so I came over. I didn't expect her to come back. Yuan Yan said irritably. I think she's okay. She's a very calm little girl. Emoji said. Yuan Yan stretched out his hand in front of him and shook it. Are you blind? Yes, I'm blind to meet you. Emoji poked the knife unceremoniously. But Yuan Yan retracted his hand and snorted coldly, then looked at the shop across the street that was surrounded by the gate. He didn't know if he saw Sima Yoyue's figure or if he thought of what she did to him, but his body couldn't help but tremble. Emoji glanced over there and knew the situation over there, and said, Didn't you say that she is a waste? Why did she buy so many herbs? Who knows? Yuan Yan was not interested in what Sima Yue bought over there. Emoji raised his eyebrows, and his eyes were even more curious. What's the matter now? Yuan Yan pulled a long face. Don't think that he didn't know that the reason why Emoji was so interested in Murong Shi was not because she was really good, but because she had once flirted with him. He just wanted to watch a good show. If he had known that he would meet this woman, he wouldn't have brought him here. Emoji looked over there and said, That shop, the first floor sells medicinal pills and herbs, the second floor is for refining, the third floor is for arrays, and the fourth floor is for spirit stones, right? What's the matter? Yuan Yan didn't even want to look over there. That Murong Shi chose a lot of herbs on the first floor, then went to the second floor to look at the dark artifacts, and went to the third floor to buy some blank array stones. She went to the fourth floor and found that spirit stones were too expensive, so she gave up. Emoji said slowly, Tisk, it's just a waste, she just bought it back and asked someone to help her refine it. Yuan Yan said impatiently, Okay, let's not talk about her anymore. I'm going to lose my interest in tea tasting. Hee, I think she's quite cute. Emoji laughed. If you think she's so good, go find her. Why are you drinking tea with me here? Yuan Yan said unhappily. Okay, I won't talk about it anymore. If you do it well this time, it will be easy when you go back to the family. Emoji no longer made fun of him and exhorted. You really don't want to talk about it, just drink your tea. Yuan Yan put another cup of tea in his hand and snorted. Aren't I worried about you? I didn't find it, I only found you gloating. Yuan Yan snorted coldly. Am I? At this time, there was a noise at the door of the opposite shop, and a flattering voice was heard, Miss, take care, you are welcome to come again next time. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.